From dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, episode 78. 78, Chris.
Whoa, 78.
How are you doing this fine evening?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to count to 78.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we just did. Lorenzo did it.
Man,
it's easy.
78. I mean, that's...
Oh, now he's going to have a reflective moment. Stand by, people. Grab a tissue.
That's 22. That's 22 from 100.
It's 22 from 100? Wow. We're not going to start planning our 100th already.
Well, I mean, if we were
Are we going to go to the snail trail shop and record there like they came here and recorded for their 100th?
I don't know.
That was an honor.
It was a big honor.
Yeah. During the COVID times, they had to army crawl out of their cars to the front door and everything,
right?
And then sneak home
because that was curfew.
It was under curfew.
And then get honor and stay honor, right?
Wow. This is what happens when Chris does day drinking. Okay.
Yes, episode 7. No, we're not ready to plan for episode 100, but
okay.
I'm thrilled.
I've got some ideas.
Good.
I do have some ideas, and they're pretty off the wall, but I think we could pull part of it off.
Well,
we'll see.
We'll see, because, if we look at a calendar and start forecasting out when it's going to land, because if we hold true to form like we did last year, we took a little bit, like a week off during the holidays. I don't know if we'll do that this year because the holidays are going to be just a shit show. So
I don't know. I'm going skiing.
Well, yeah, you're just going to go bye-bye.
That's right. So, all right. Well, here we are, episode 78.
Yes, sir.
And let's our patrons. God bless you, patrons.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
You are I can't believe the support.
The support
that we have gotten.
They saved us.
It's been awesome.
Yes, it has.
And it's a fuzzy, warm feeling that I get every time I see.
That's the bourbon.
Is that the bourbon too? It's part of it. Bourbon's definitely part of it. It's definitely not Lorenzo.
No.
He's been sleeping in the garage.
Really?
Yeah.
Has he been snoring?
Yeah, he's been farting. So I put him out in the garage at night.
Okay.
Yeah,
how do we go from thanking our patrons to start talking about Lorenzo's gas?
Well, he's a little gassy lately, and I think he got into some beans or something. I don't know, but
he was the last time we saw him. He was on a trip in the back of a side-by-side down in Mexico.
That's right. He did have a great. That's exactly what it was. Is all that Mexican food in Mexico, which is damn good, by the way, but. It didn't set well with him because I think his stomach got kind of Americanized. He's been here so long.
Was that what it was? So how did he get back? Did they drop him off, or did he have to hitchhike, or what?
He showed up. I came home one day, and he was back in the house. I don't know. I don't ask questions. He did. He'd cleaned up. He went to some donkey saloon or something and got cleaned up. Salon. He was definitely at the saloon too. But
it'd be a saloon salon.
His fur was all neatly combed and shiny, and his hooves had a little manicure, pedicure. What do you call that? Is it manicure?
Hoovicure. Hoovicure.
Sounds like a.
Did he get new shoes too?
He got new horseshoes.
What's that? Cooper? No, that's not a Cooper.
No, that's for barrels.
Blacksmith.
Blacksmith, yeah.
But there's a shoe guy.
The shoe guy, yeah.
Shoer.
He works at the shoe store.
Hey, listeners, if you know what a horseshoe person's name is,
Jeez.
You can let us know. Send an email to Lorenzo or Jason or Chris at Wheeling.
It's a horseshoer.
Yeah, no,
right?
I don't know. My daughter would know because she rides horses.
Yeah, you should know this.
I don't involve myself in that because I figure if I get too wrapped up in it, then hey, honey, let's buy a horse.
Yeah.
No.
It's called a farrier.
Farrier. God damn. Thanks, Lorenzo.
A specialist in equine hoof care.
So
including the trimming and balancing of horses' hooves.
Do they color them too?
And placing the shoes on the hooves if necessary. So Lorenzo went to a farrier.
And
I don't know where he got the money. I hope he didn't take some of the patron money.
I don't know. Let me look.
Because he's not supposed to tap into that.
No, he's not. We promised.
That is off limits.
So back to the patrons. That was quite the segue.
What happens here on the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey podcast?
We have 28 loyal patrons.
28?
Yes. Thank you so much for your loyalty and your money.
Okay. Well, so we have reciprocated with all 28, correct?
That's correct.
They have received a letter from Lorenzo.
That's right.
And a sticker from us. Okay, so step 1 is done.
Correct.
Now, and it's been 3 months for people that signed up early.
That's correct.
At the $20 tier.
We have a few that are...
So we've got some flasks that we need to make and get out to these people.
Exactly.
Okay, super cool. That's going to make a nice little holiday. Fill that up with Old Elk. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, boy.
There we go.
And there's like different varieties of Old Elk now, too.
Well, yes. And we've got them sitting in front of us right now.
We may have to hit those.
The rye,
the wheated bourbon.
The wheated, and the wheat.
And then none of them suck.
Didn't we talk about that last podcast?
I don't think we did.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. So Old Elk sent us a little gift pack. Little 100 milliliter bottles, I think.
They're 200. Yeah, they're small.
They're 100
samplers. Yeah,
they're samplers, but they're a good sampler, enough that we could share.
Yeah,
and you got a set, and I got a set, and holy smokes, we started with the rye. I wanted to go to the spice because that rye had heard so many great things about.
It was really good,
and it was phenomenal. And then we went to the wheated, which we had before, and then the wheat. Was like, oh my gosh, so good. Mm-hmm. And that was probably my favorite. But all of them were outstanding.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
Thank you,
very
Old
good.
Elk, for sending us a little care package.
Yeah.
And that was, I got like half a bottle left in each one of those. So I got like 50 mils left in each one right now.
We might end up killing those tonight.
Perhaps. And then you're going to have to bring yours over.
Oh, Craig,
you have a bottle of rye, don't you?
I do.
Oh, you did. So your purveyor, your local purveyor, Raj.
Yep, Raj
brought in some Old Elk rye.
The rye and the wheated.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't have the wheated bourbon. He didn't have the wheated bourbon.
Right.
So I have 3 of the flavors. I've got the blended, the standard, if you will. And then I've got the wheated, and I've got the wheat. I'm sorry.
Straight wheat. Straight wheat.
So, and I have the rye at home. Full bottles.
Keep talking amongst yourselves. I got to go grab this other bottle.
Oh, okay. I'll keep going. So anyway, 28 patrons have been doing a great job of supporting the podcast. We hope you continue to support us. And here he comes. He's got back with slam.
There goes the door here. Okay,
man, it's like a bull in a china shop.
So I talked about it is. So I talked about it on the earlier podcast. It was about a year ago. I think I discovered the straight wheat whiskey at Bevmo.
Right.
Remember, because I went in to buy just a regular bottle of Old Elk.
We had found the single barrel stuff that.
But we didn't know at the time. We didn't know.
This is the one that you got.
This is the one I got that was like $50 or $55,
right.
And it was supposed to be like $75 or $80, and because all the labels were the same except it had this gold label on it,
right?
And they had mismarked it, so I still have half a bottle of that. So that is the straight wheat, but this wheated bourbon was my personal favorite out of the 3.
It's excellent.
I mean, if I did and I do want to do a blind tasting, but oh my God, the rye really was outstanding.
No, they're all fantastic. They all drink very well. We'll do a full review on all those flavors here in the future. Very near future. We're coming into the holidays, so that means we're going to go into our gift guides. We're going to get into
we got to do that.
Yes.
I got some ideas for.
We got.
I got another. Yeah, I got 2 episode ideas that we need to talk about tonight.
Okay,
but
off
I know we're getting off the rails already here. So, anyways, thank you, Old Elk, for sending that out. Thank you, patrons. 28 patrons. That still blows me away.
Yep.
So we totally appreciate your support. There's some cool content coming your way. Chris and I are meeting tonight after the podcast to start editing and releasing some of the stuff that we have that
some of the
I don't think you'll be disappointed in.
No, most likely not.
It
And
just
if you
makes-
are, well, let us know.
Yeah, if you don't like it, let us know.
We'll up
because
our game.
we are at the mercy of our patrons. I mean, you guys, you tell us to jump, we'll ask how high.
Exactly. So again, thank you, and we'll start the process. We'll be in touch with the people that are eligible for the flasks, and we'll be in touch with them to get.
Yeah, we got to make sure we got
addresses
everybody's mailing address
and what you want printed
shipping
on
address
there and all that stuff.
Yes,
So,
so we got to.
If you see an email from me or Lorenzo, please respond to it.
Yes. All right, so let's get into the 2020 Nationals.
Ooh, baby.
Right? Ultra 4. Let's talk a little Ultra 4.
Racing time. Okay.
Because it's the season has wrapped up,
Yep.
and next season is shaping up to be a real doozy.
Could be real.
I mean, a lot of ridiculously cool events, and I'm hoping to hit some of these out-of-state ones.
And Wheeling Wine and Whiskey is going to do their damnedest to be there.
Well, I hope so. You need to find another job, Chris. But other than that, yeah, I'm going to try and be there.
Need more patrons.
Need more patrons.
So, anyway, let's talk about racing. So, this a few weeks ago, we had the Ultra 4 Nitto. The 4-wheel parts Nitto Tire Nationals Finals. The race that was in Crossbar Ranch in Oklahoma,
Davis, Oklahoma.
right? And that Jason couldn't watch the race. He was.
Where was I, Chris?
You were at Tahoe. You were partying.
I was at a wedding. I was officiating a wedding.
That's right, down on the beach.
Yeah.
Me
It went well.
Being all official.
It was official. I don't know. I can't believe my signature signifies that somebody's married, but it does.
It's hard to believe.
There you go. Whatever that's worth. So I am available for weddings and bar mitzvahs if anybody's needing those services. Let me know.
Reasonable negotiable fees.
Oh, it's just food and alcohol. That's all. It's super simple.
And he wears a purple suit. Purple
suit. A zoot suit?
Dude, I went to a wedding at Tahoe, I don't know how many years ago.
Here we go.
But the officiant wore a purple suit. I swear to God.
You
I'm
sure?
like, are you kidding me?
Sure you weren't in Vegas?
No, it was, dude, we were at Tahoe,
Wow.
not too far from
Wow.
what used to be my mom's cabin. So
Okay.
anyway, so back to
Yes.
we just scatter all over.
Yeah, I
So
know.
we have a long episode. There's going to be some
Yeah,
great stuff coming up.
let's get on with this.
So going to the race. So I watched a lot of the race. It was streaming. I watched it on my big screen TV in my living room with a couple of adult beverages.
How was the coverage?
It was really good.
Okay.
I mean, if the other one that I didn't really Teardown in Tennessee wasn't great.
No, well, there's too many trees.
It was a good race, but they had the drone and they had a couple of camera locations, but there was a shit ton of dust. The coverage here for this race was really good. They had several drones and they had a lot of camera locations, and it was funny because I was texting with one of our listeners, Dave, who's a friend of ours, during the race, and he's like,
Cold Nosen.
Yeah, the law firm.
The law
Cold
firm
Nosen.
of Cold Nosen.
But he texted me. He's like, "Man, that track doesn't look very hard. We should go race down there." And I'm like, or drive down there. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm like, I'm saying, yeah, it looks pretty tame. And then I saw that hill climb. I don't know what mile marker that was, but I said, that hill looks pretty freaking gnarly.
Yeah, so I did see some clips and stuff, and obviously IG post, and there was some gnarly spots on
there.
that
There
course.
were, and now again, my comment to Dave was like, we'd be driving it at like 5 miles per hour, and these guys are doing it at 50.
Wow.
Or more, right?
Wow.
So that kind of says it all. Anyway, the coverage of the race was good. There was some great action. I didn't see a ton of carnage, but I did see the Campbell boys, the Campbell family, Shannon and Waylon. They were out of the race pretty early, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's just it's funny because not funny to them, haha. But
no,
but they broke down within like walking distance of each other, so they kind of
that close.
They sat and watched the rest of the race together. But a lot of what are you doing?
I was taking a picture for Dave. He just
there you
called.
go. Oh, did he? Nice,
Yeah.
nice. He's got nothing better to do. Anyway, great race. A lot of good action. So if you don't follow along with what Ultra 4 is, they do a staggered start, and this start was every 30 seconds. It's a timed race. So where you are in the track,
So there's corrected time.
It's corrected time. They don't necessarily, where you are on the track and when you cross the finish line,
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean you're the winner.
Right.
And that played out because Paul Horschel came across the line physically first, but he didn't win. So Eric Miller came across second, but he was the leader in corrected time.
Right.
So let's get to the leaderboard. Let's see how this panned out.
Before you get there, this was the first race that they instituted a new timing. They adopted a new timing.
They had a new
live time.
Correct.
So definitely
better.
Definitely better. I'm not going to go into all the semantics, but they've had difficulties with timing,
and there's been some disputes,
and some very bad disputes. But anyways,
KOH was like that. So,
well, but I love the direction, and it's evolving. I mean, this sport is relatively new, and everything is moving forward so fast. And to have the number of races that they did in this effed up year, hats off to Dave Cole and his team. To make this happen. So anyways, I just wanted to interject that. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. So how things shaked out, we're not going to get into the entire thing, but if you want to see the results, go to ultra4racing.com.
Yes.
And click near the top. They have a link that takes you to the race results. But the top 10, we can give you the top 10. So Eric Miller was the leader, and he was the winner of the race. Paul Horschel, man, I tell you what, these two fought all day long. It was
That's
great.
what I heard.
All day long. Paul Horschel came in, and Paul had some issues early, later in the race. He was able to get through it and get his car back and finish the race. Paul Horschel came in second. Then you had Von Gittin Jr. third, Bailey Cole fourth.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm going to butcher these names.
Come on.
But Chris Paiva was fifth. Then you had Cody Addington came in sixth.
Yeah.
And then Nate
Cody's local.
Nate Jesse or GC was seventh. And then you had Cody Hardesty was eighth. Chad Owens was ninth, and then Matt Burkett was 10th.
Okay.
And then some people we follow and like, Levi Shirley, who we've interviewed in the past.
Yeah.
He came in 12th.
Okay.
And then Bailey Campbell. I don't think she was actually driving the car.
No, she was not.
So it was Matt. What's his name? Somebody else was driving her car.
Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
And
is it Matt Ryan?
Something I don't know. Anyway.
No. Oh my God. Now you're going to have to make me look this up.
No, don't worry about it. It's all good. So Josh Blyler came in 11th and Levi Shirley 12th, and then he had Bailey Campbell. Now Bailey's car was the only Campbell car that finished the race. The other two.
Was it really? Ryan Miller was, because we like to be accurate here on the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey podcast. We don't like to have correction episodes like Snail Trail, where they have to have a whole episode to correct the last four episodes they did.
Well, I was thinking Matt Miller, but I knew it was something. Anyway,
love you guys.
Snail Trail. So those are the race results. Very exciting season. Great race. There was some audio quality issues during the streaming, but you know what?
It's a learning curve, but I mean, just to have it published out again is awesome.
Well, this isn't Wild World of Sports.
No, it's not. It's not. You're right. You're right. So, it's growing.
It's growing, and maybe in 10 years it will be Wild World.
Yeah.
Wild World of Sports on ABC.
Wow.
With Vin Scully.
Wow. You're really getting after it there. Okay.
Anyway, that's my report. You want to talk about the national points leader?
I do. So that was the end of the season for 2020, which,
that's correct.
Again, they salvaged the season. So the 2020 national points season ending order, Eric Miller ends up winning with 2,965 points, 58 points behind, trailing Josh Blyler. Hello, one King of the Hammers, so that boosted him up.
No doubt.
And then check out Bailey Cole in third.
Right, that's awesome.
With 28.75. And then you got Levi Shirley in fourth.
Right.
Lauren Healy. I mean, look at this lineup. Bailey Campbell. I love it.
Right.
She is on the top of the Campbell crown here. Chris Pavia.
Uh-huh.
I think I pronounced that right. Chad Owens, and then Shannon Campbell's ninth,
right,
and then Paul Herschel's rounding out the top 10.
Exactly.
And I mean, you just keep going down the list. I mean, there's this great names, the Gomez brothers, all of them.
They're in the top 20.
They're all there, but man, what a season! Again, salvage made lemonade out of lemons.
They made it happen.
Yeah.
And, now we're in a little bit of a break. They're all back at their base camp.
Well,
rebuilding
not
their
a break.
junk. Yep.
They're rebuilding their junk
Because that's what
for
I'm saying.
KOH 2021. And today, listening to the Talent Tank,
Oh, I haven't listened
which
to that
if you
episode.
listen to us, I know you listen to Talent Tank because Wyatt's better than us, but that's not here nor there. But I listened to the latest episode. I think it was the latest episode, wasn't it? With Alan Johnson, the Dusty Gnome.
Right.
And he's part of Ultra 4 Media. He's
Correct.
the one that runs the Ultra 4 IG page and Facebook page and all that stuff. And he said at the end of that podcast that KOH 2021, he gets the question every day,
Right.
at least 10 times a day, is it going to happen? And he said, yes, hard yes, it will happen.
And Miles is saying the same thing.
And we're going to be there regardless.
Oh, yeah,
but
no.
I loved what I heard today, that they're working with the local counties and authorities and everything to make this event happen. So, but I will be there.
Oh, yeah. No,
You gonna be there?
I plan to be there
Okay.
one way or another.
Lorenzo and I are going to be there for sure.
I'm going to be there. Dude,
Okay,
I was there
you're
last
gonna
year.
be there.
February's easy.
Oh, February is easy. There we go.
Technically, it should be raining.
It should be, technically. But we live in California.
So, yeah, no, we're not going to get it. So, anyway, but exciting stuff. Congratulations to the points winners and the winners of all the races this
Yes.
season.
Yes.
Looking forward to the next season, hopefully, and everything goes well, and we're back at the lake bed in February, and we're watching racing again.
There you go. I'm so looking forward to it.
Sweet.
Well,
What else you got?
Rubicon.
Did you go on the Rubicon?
You ever
again?
heard of the Rubicon Trail, Chris?
I have. Don't
It's
you need to start with me now?
it's not very well known, but it's a great trail if you get a chance to run it.
Someday.
There was one disappointment though. Starting the trail,
What's that?
the sign was down.
What?
They had already pulled down the world famous welcome to the world famous Rubicon
and
sign
Loon?
that
It's gone?
Shannon Shard painted. Yes,
Right,
gone
right.
down for the winter.
Wow.
So
There's not a sniglet of snow.
no, and it was a beautiful weekend. Holy smokes! Not very many people out on the trail. But we got I got invited out. You got invited out
Yep.
with the Mad Hatters to go join. Thanks to Diane Hawks,
Right?
coordinated with John Arns there. That has a beautiful slice of heaven
Yeah.
at Spyder Lake,
Pretty big slice.
and he invited us out to spend the weekend out there, Halloween weekend, and. I was, kind of hemming and hawing. I'm like, yeah, I mean, we did Rubicon back in June in the buggy.
Right.
And so I go, I want to bring the Jeep out. And it's fall can be really good up in the Sierras.
Sure.
And it was awesome. So Tyler was up there, Snail Trail.
Right.
Jimmy was not. But Tyler, and then we had Lady Samurai James. So they've been on the podcast before. Of course, CJ with a CJ.
Right.
Rusty Lit Off Road was there. And then we met a couple other newbies, brand newbies, never been four-wheeling before.
Really?
Their
What-
first run is on the Rubicon,
were they
and their
driving?
mind got freaking blown.
Are they driving a JL or a JK or
It was a very well set up four-door JK.
okay?
JKU, I think. But anyways, great. And you're going to hear them on this podcast.
Cool.
But lots of fun and another great wheeling weekend. I just had to get one more rock run in to salvage this year before the snow started flying.
Yeah.
And now I want like one more rock run before the when the snow starts flying. Wow. Is that wrong?
I don't.
Because if that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Looking at the forecast, you potentially could pull that off.
There's a chance.
So you're
saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
So
There's
you're
always
saying
a
there's
chance. So I didn't make the trip. Damn it! I was invited.
You were
I
so
was
supposed to be
I was
there.
close to being there, and then just everything. It's just my world is just sideways right now, and I'm not going to get belabored. Not going to get into it, but those that know me, they know what's going on, and things are ugly right now.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, what do you want to do? You want to roll this?
Yes, because I'm running out of stuff to talk about here. I mean, unless you want more of an intro.
Here we go. Roll it.
Here we are on remote, on the Rubicon. Halloween night.
A little spooky out here.
It is a little spooky out here. We got a full moon, and it's like a blue moon.
Mm-hmm.
So what signifies a moon being a blue moon?
Twice in 1 month.
Is that what it is?
Yep. 2 full moons in 1 month.
So that's what they say once in a blue moon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's where the expression comes from. Look at that, dropping a little knowledge on us here. Tyler from Snail Trail 4x4.
That's what we do.
In the house, in the Heezy baby.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a few other special guests that are going to jump on here throughout the podcast. Anyways, Halloween on the Rubicon. We're on private property because legally you cannot be camping.
I heard that they're giving out $5,000 fines if you're on the trail.
You know how many Toyotas you could buy for $5,000?
At least 5.
At least. At least. And I guarantee 4.5 of them are going to be raisined up.
Mm-hmm.
That's like about a dozen
all
samurai.
the ones we saw today.
It doesn't samurai. There's Samurai James jumping in on the podcast here. So we are here on private property at Spyder Lake. And those of you that know the Rubicon Trail, you can put together 2 and 2. But absolutely wonderful, incredible day. We came in Friday afternoon and wheeled from Loon Lake into Spyder Lake. And no issues, right? Nobody had issues. You didn't have lockers.
Nope. You don't need lockers for the Rubicon.
Apparently not. You did very well. We didn't have to pull or winch you this whole time.
I did have to launch the front end of the 4Runner over a rock at one point.
Well, there you go.
But that was fun. I have a lot more power now.
Yeah.
So you can do it now.
Yeah, see, you got that power, and it sounds good. You got that Flowmaster exhaust going, so it actually sounded pretty throaty.
It does, yeah. It's fun. There's somebody, it was Lee, outside FJ80.
Oh, Lee, yes.
So he found a meme on Instagram of Kermit the Frog saying, people tell me that if I drive slower, I'll get more MPGs, more miles per gallon.
Yeah.
But I love the way it sounds when it goes vroom, vroom.
Right. When you put the hammer down.
Yeah.
And that's so true.
I was like, I'm learning that right now.
I learned to send it.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to be able to hit 80 on the freeway?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's a little scary.
I could do that with like downhill with a wind behind me, though. With a 70-mile-an-hour wind behind me going downhill. I was able to do it with the 4-cylinder.
I can't even do that.
So yesterday we meet up at Loon Lake and headed in the trail. Mm-hmm. Beautiful day.
You guys got here way too early.
No,
No. I don't care what you're about to say.
You didn't have enough torques to get up the hill, and apparently
I didn't have enough coolant.
Who knew that a fan with no shroud, like 8 inches away from a radiator, would not cool properly on an incline?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I just that just boggles my mind.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I still think if you guys had showed up like an hour later, it would have been much better for the timing for everybody.
Really?
Okay. I'm just letting you know. I'm just
you were late.
I wasn't late.
You were late.
I'm always on time.
Yeah,
I'm
your time. On your
exactly.
time.
On time is when I get there.
Yeah, apparently. Always late, but worth the wait. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. You need to shit can that plastic fan, clutch fan of yours, and put in a nice electric fan with a shroud.
I really like the way CJ's operates with the little control box too. I was checking out his.
CJ's he doesn't have an off switch, so every time he stops, it sounds like a goddamn helicopter's taking off when we're on
easy to put in.
Nice, enjoying the nature, beautiful, beautiful day, and then
at least it doesn't sound like a JL fan. Okay,
no, it doesn't sound like a JL fan.
Those things are bad.
But you can get confused between the JL fan and the latte maker going in the jail, so that you're getting confused between those two.
Okay.
When they're frothing up their lattes, that's what you're probably hearing. Yeah. CJ, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you, Jason. Pleasure to be
here. Sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry. I know. It's all right. I have an off switch for my fan, but it's a real bummer when I don't forget to.
You forget to turn it back on.
Yeah.
I get you.
Someday I'll wire it to my ignition, but it's nice to cool the motor down when it's not running.
But you have provided, your mom has provided some wonderful cookies. Oatmeal chocolate chip.
Yes, sir. Oatmeal chocolate chip, and I think there's some snickerdoodles.
A bounty, I would say a bounty of oatmeal chocolate chip cookies that are delicious. And then, snickerdoodles were good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't take credit, but she takes credit for me. So I guess
heck yeah. That's good. So, yeah, I don't know how many rigs we got in camp right now. There's got to be 14 or so.
14, 15 is I
Yeah.
think a safe number.
Yeah. And how many Toyotas? One?
Token Toyota, baby.
One token Toyota here. We got a token, two tokens.
No, we have two
We got
Toyotas.
two Samurais.
We have two Toyotas.
Oh, is there two Toyotas?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Husband's buggy.
Oh,
I don't know if
well,
that counts. That don't
buggy,
count.
it's-
That is 100% Toyota.
No, it's a
It's a
buggy.
buggy.
It's a buggy.
It's
a buggy.
There's none of the important parts on there are not Toyota.
The chassis is
No,
the main
no.
thing. Without
You don't
the
need a
chassis,
chassis.
you got shit.
You don't need a chassis.
No.
It's all in the drivetrain.
No. No. Hard no.
Yeah, even the Samurais are outnumbering the Toyotas.
I know. And so Trail was in great shape.
Except for the trees.
So let's no, that was today.
We'll get there.
Let's talk about yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So coming in very smooth, and James had never been up the Soup Bowl.
Correct. He's
Right.
tried it a bunch of times.
Right.
I think
So
that
made
was.
it.
I think I've tried it about. That was my third time
really
trying it. Yeah.
okay. And yeah, so we got up to Soup Bowl, and you went up first, right?
No, CJ.
Oh no,
did.
CJ did. CJ walked right up it.
I had a good guide, but I was fully loaded with camping gear. I did not expect
You were.
all
That
these
was
from
impressive.
CJ to crawl right up. But
That was
it
impressive.
good.
So CJ7, and you're locked up and got the new stroker motor in it and stuff. So you had lots of torques.
Yeah, at idle. Yeah.
Yeah, and but you did. You walked right up it. That was impressive.
Thank you for the guiding.
Well, yeah, I just kind of pointed
You're
to a
welcome.
few.
You're welcome,
yeah,
CJ.
Tyler didn't do shit.
Let the podcast listeners know that
Yeah.
Jason spotted me.
There you
I'm
go.
not gonna
Then now the
guys
truth
spot
comes
me.
out.
Sorry.
This is
End of
Wheeling
story.
Wine and Whiskey, not the
Moving
Snail Trail
on.
podcast. So then James is like, "Yeah, I gotta make it up this damn thing." And so you and the Samurai.
Yeah, after seeing CJ, I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen anybody walk up
Oh,
like
really?
that. Not that easily.
Okay.
That's not in a well built buggy or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So
he
then-
sat there in the middle of it for like 10 minutes, letting us take pictures,
It was
just
it was
laughing and
impressive.
giggling his head off. And then he's like, okay, let's continue. And just whoop, 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 right up. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then CJ told me soup of the day was great. So
The soup of the day was great.
New England clam chowder, that would be the white.
That is nice.
It's pronounced chowder.
Chowder
Chowder,
from
my bad.
Boston. Chowder.
And so at that point, I was like, okay, I got to go. And it was pretty awesome. Jason was stayed at his post there and helped me get on the right line.
We took
and-
a little bit different line, a
Little
little
bit.
more squared up because of the shorter wheelbase.
Yeah.
And you walked it. You had your passenger front tire so sideways. Your sidewall was gripping that rock off to the right. It
was almost completely
camber.
flush because you could see the marks of the whole.
Oh, it was.
tire.
It was impressive. It was super impressive. Got great video. Lady Samurai was taking video, so it was impressive. Super good. So we're back. We're back at the Soup Bowl. So James started up it. A little bit different line, and you had this tire, the passenger front tire, just full sidewall on the rock, just spinning.
Yeah, and it was pretty impressive. Like when I first got up there, you asked you like, "How's that angle feel?" And I'm like, "This is actually not bad at all." So I just
because it was extreme. I mean, for your passenger front to be full sidewall. Now, granted, it's kind of like a little V notch in there, but your driver's front was way up on the wall.
yeah.
And you had the wheelbase, and you were able to walk right through it.
Yeah, it shocked me, especially after, the last 2 times I was out here and tried to Soup Bowl, they just didn't have good soup, so I had
that's
to
what
back out of it,
Yeah. So we're going to get to Lady Samurai here in a second, but she's got a great story to tell here. But yeah, so then we moved on from Soup Bowl. Oh, wait a minute. I tried Soup Bowl in the 5, and I got denied. No soup for you.
You had a great spotter, and you still couldn't get up.
Yeah, I don't know about the spotter situation. I'm pretty sure if I was spotting myself from outside, I might have made it. But no, I don't know. It just didn't. I was a full passenger side rocker panel, all
I'm
4
telling you.
tires spinning.
I think that if we had backed you back down and got you back up on
Yeah.
that ledge on your driver's side, every time you came up, you kept sliding off of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you can just stay on that ledge and
Right.
get you over a little bit more, you would have walked right up
I
it.
needed to air down a little more. I purposely kept a little more air in the tires because I was loaded down with camping gear, but I literally needed to go down 2 more pounds. That's what I did today when we were out wheeling, and it was night and day difference. But regardless, no soup for you. So I got denied. The soup was shit today.
Yeah,
yesterday.
they changed it on the line. I was up there.
Apparently.
It went to sardine
It
soup.
was sardine soup. Oh, man. So, anyways, I had to back down. I almost rolled it a couple times. I tried really hard to roll the Jeep. And
There was one point, and we were coming up the top of Walker Hill, and I'm just watching. I'm like,
oh, that was
that's
bad.
an interesting line, because I was like, that little V-notch there at the top.
Yes.
Usually when people go up that, they go further driver's side.
Yes. And I thought
you were
about
kind
that.
of like going, like with your driver down in the bottom of the V-notch and your passenger way up on the wall on the
Yeah.
right. And I was like, where is he going? And
yeah,
then, and then you almost endoed backwards. I was like, no.
yeah, that was there was a couple of moments yesterday, and I'm going to blame it on Trail Hero and the damn buggy.
Yeah.
It's just a total different ride in the Jeep, and I've driven the Jeep forever, right? But I get into those situations, and I'm like, oh, no, we're going to roll. Oh, no, this is a really bad line. It's like, okay, how do I get out of this situation without rolling? So, but I'm really concerned that I'm not worried anymore, because before I would have been grabbing on and yelling at people to grab a fender, but that was no, it was.
I remember
it was good fun.
saying, I don't remember what I said over the radio, but I said something, and then you kind of poked your head out your driver door
Yeah.
there as you were backing down, and I could just see you cracking up laughing.
Yeah, I was
out the
laughing.
driver's door. I was
I'm
like,
like-
oh man.
I'm like, oh, here we go. Yeah, I am numb to this shit now, and it's kind of scary, but a lot of fun. And yeah, I there was about, between yesterday and today, there was about 6 instances where I was really, really close to going over.
yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right, moving on.
Well, you
Let's-
also drive a CJ, so I mean
Well-
that's kind of typical for you guys.
yeah, no, it really isn't.
No,
really
it totally is though.
No.
Yes.
Not like these Toyota drivers, that lay
Toyotas
over.
well,
you
if
guys
Toyotas
take a
go
dirt
over,
nap
it's
on the
because
trail all the time.
We intend for it.
Yeah.
We're trying to show off all the torques under the vehicle.
Right.
Jason,
So-
have you
Right.
seen many raisin CJs?
No,
No,
nope, not very many at all. Not very many at all.
Seems like the Toyotas flop a lot more often.
lot
than
of
the
raisined up Toyotas. Just
I never
saying.
said that you guys flopped. I said that CJs tend to get in positions where they almost roll a lot.
Inverted.
But we seem to save that. Maybe it's just the driver skill of a CJ owner.
I really think
That
it
must
is.
be
Yes, you're absolutely right, CJ. Absolutely
Thank you.
right. Hey, so pass the mic over to Rhonda there. Lady Samurai is in the Heezy Baby.
Rhonda, first off, hold on. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
You almost got to use your new Element fire extinguisher today.
Yes.
Well, I guess we'll
had
get to
it
that in a little
ready.
bit. But I want to say congratulations for winning that. I was really bummed that I didn't get it.
Yeah, that was super cool. So yeah, we got to get some pictures tomorrow with you and your new Element fire extinguisher. I'm glad we didn't have to spark it off today, but it was close. But we'll get to that. But first of all, back to our regularly scheduled program. So Rhonda, I don't know how this all came about, but I think from Fordyce, right? It kind of originated at Fordyce. You got to drive the Samurai at Fordyce and fell in love with four-wheeling and everything, and you're like, I want to learn how to hook up the truck and trailer. I want to be able to go on my own if James is not around for work, whatever.
Well, it kind of started with Barrett Lake.
Oh,
a
Barrett,
couple months
okay.
ago
Yeah.
because we were scheduled to go, but then James got held on work and couldn't, so I had to miss out. And I'm like, no, this isn't going to happen.
That's not cool. You're sitting at home by yourself.
So, yep. So it's my mission to learn now and be able
Nice.
to come out on my own.
So you took the safety clinic earlier this year. It got delayed from May till July. I think we did the safety clinic in July.
2nd, somewhere in there.
So you did the safety clinic in the Samurai and had a great day and learned a bunch of stuff. And then Barrett and Fordyce and doing some of the hardest trails in California. And then you told James, you're like, Rubicon. It's all me. I'm making this happen. I'm hooking up the truck. You even washed the truck.
I did.
Yeah, so I call home, what was it, Wednesday night, and She's like, hey, can I call you back? I'm washing the truck right now. And I'm like, you're washing the truck? She's like, hell yeah, I'm washing the truck. I'm not driving a dirty truck.
That's awesome. And so you hooked up the trailer and everything by yourself,
Yep, I did.
and then loaded the Samurai,
Yep.
and then tied it down,
Yep.
checked all the lights, and you drove up here
I did.
to Loon Lake from your house. You unloaded the Jeep or the Samurai, sorry. And it was a compliment. Take that as a compliment. And then you proceeded to drive from Loon Lake into Spyder.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I did. It
So-
was awesome.
You're like a pro, yes. And so after doing all that, are you confident to just like if James has got to work one weekend and we're going out on some trail and you're going to do it?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm
Heck
confident
yeah.
I can get the rig to the trail. So
Nice.
hopefully if I break or anything, that's another story.
That's
but you guys
all right.
are there to help me.
We can
so
we can
we're
just
good.
pick
help with
that.
that, yeah.
We can pick that Samurai up and carry
We'll
it
just
out.
carry
It's
it
no
out,
big deal.
piggyback it.
Yeah, it's no big deal. Oh, that's awesome. No, that's super cool. I love your enthusiasm and going out there and making it happen. That's great. And I'm sorry, James, that you lost your Samurai. You're going to have to go out
not
looking
getting it back.
for something else there. Yeah. But I can see here in the near future there's going to be another rig and tow vehicle in the equation here.
Well, there's rumor has it that they might end up getting a 4Runner.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wait, we got to have a talk. We got to have a heart to heart here, man. That's not right. That's not right.
Intervention.
we gotta have an intervention. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So Rhonda, how was it driving
Yeah.
in? Because I like have you driven and you've driven out before, right? Of the Rubicon or driven parts of the Rubicon at
No,
all?
I drove for maybe 2 minutes one time. That
Okay.
was all. So, yeah, this was my first time, and it was awesome.
Wow.
Sammy's just a badass rig, so you just kind of point it where you want it to go, and she climbs and does everything.
It
But
really
yeah,
does
it was-
operate really well.
Yeah.
How was coming up out of like through Gatekeeper up the slabs up Whalebones? Because I know Whalebones. That's a
the first.
steep. That's a steep climb there in a short wheelbase.
Especially
like
short
a
wheelbase.
Samury's what 84-inch wheelbase. 84-inch wheelbase. How was that feeling going up there as you're driving?
You know, it made me nervous because you guys were in front of me, and I was seeing you guys, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty steep." But once
Where you were
got
seeing
all-
you were seeing Jason.
Yeah, you're seeing the
tripping his tires at the
CJ5
bottom.
pulling a wheel off the ground. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, I got up there and she climbed, and it didn't really feel like it was very steep at all. And I mean, we do have the water in the tires, which helps a lot
That's true,
to keep
yeah.
us
Oh,
down.
yeah.
But yeah, she climbed, no problems at all. So
Nice.
That's great. That's great.
That's cool.
Super cool.
Did you get to drive at all today? How was?
no, I rig hopped today.
You rig
so
hopped.
got
You were-
to check out other rigs.
You were
Nice.
in all kinds of right seats. I would have let you drive mine, come to think of it. You should have drove mine. You probably could have drove better than me today. I didn't drive very well today. I was taking some stupid lines. I don't know. Gosh. So that was Friday. So we get into camp last night, and thanks to John and Barbara for hosting us, Diane for setting up this run, and man, just awesome. Full moon. I woke up at like 4 o'clock or something this morning, and I thought it was daylight already. That's how bright the moon was. I was like, "Oh crap! It's already 7 o'clock or whatever." Yeah. And nope, it was 4 o'clock, and I go, "That's full moon."
Yeah.
No wind. It's just been epic. And then we wake up this morning, and I thought it was going to be like stupid cold. And it was cold, but no frost. I mean, I had a little water bottle with like just not even an inch of water in the bottom of it. It didn't freeze, so it definitely didn't get down to freezing. But it was chilly.
It was chilly.
But once the
last
sun
night.
came
Yeah.
up, I mean, it warmed right up. And then we were, mid-60s all day?
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, it was
was nice.
awesome. Awesome day in the high Sierras here on the Rubicon. So we left Spyder Lake around 11 o'clock or so, 11:30.
It's about 11:30, I think, when we pulled out.
Yeah. So, and we decided, hey, we're just going to take a run out to Buck, have lunch, and then assessment from there whether we're going to go to the Springs, Cadillac, and back up.
Hey, Jason, this is CJ. I got to interrupt for a second.
Oh, well, here we go. Hang on 1 second. CJ is here on the
You're
scene.
talking about the weather, and you and I experienced the weather today, right?
Right.
In our CJs with our bikini tops on.
Right.
I heard Tyler has air conditioning in his rig, and I think it must have been at least a balmy 50 in his rig.
It
with
works
AC
great.
on.
Probably.
Phenomenally
And,
now, yeah.
There's a story there with his AC, I guess.
Is there?
Over something else. I don't know. But I just wanted to bring that up because
The
some
AC
of us
works.
experienced
It's
nice
great.
weather today, and some of us were hunkered in our, SUV rigs and couldn't experience the
Right.
true pleasure of the
With
Sierras.
their ski jacket on.
Yeah. I don't know.
Snowboard
Just thought
jacket, actually.
thought that
That's
was an
definitely a
important weather
snowboard
tip.
jacket.
Hey, I paid for my AC. I'm going to use it at full blast the entire time, okay?
AC before lockers.
You don't
Yeah,
need
Tyler,
lockers.
do you have lockers on your rig right now?
Yeah, I do have them on the rig.
They're not functioning.
Do they
They're not
function?
functioning.
I pleed the fifth.
I heard if you blow really hard on the air hoses that connect to those.
Oh,
differentials,
can you
they
imagine
might-
if you had the
might-
arrows trying to blow you gained a
Hold
lot.
on, a guy hop out, blow air, and hit lockers.
Well, the old
Well, that's what I was
lockers,
trying
you
to-
only need like 40 psi to lock them.
I was trying to get passengers today. I was like, "Hey, Ron, do you got to operate the locker?
You got to blow on this. Whoa! Wait a minute. Oh boy. Yeah, usually it's lights before lockers, but according to Tyler, it's AC before lockers.
AC music
AC
before
before
lockers.
So I like how Jimmy called you out on the last podcast. That's like, now, Tyler, you had time to hook up, your lockers and your S-Pod deal and all that
I
stuff.
did not have time to pick up everything.
And you chose to do the AC first.
No, I was told that the AC would take less than 24 hours. I was going to have it in that morning. It would be out that afternoon. And then I was going to have 4 days to hook up all the accessories.
Hashtag Overlander.
And then it
Likely
turns out
story.
that the AC lines came out of the compressor and went straight into my frame rail. So they had to custom make new AC lines, but they didn't tell me until Tuesday evening. I was supposed to get it back Monday afternoon. So they told me Tuesday afternoon. I'm like, okay, well, where does that put us? I kind of need the rig. And they're like, oh, don't worry. We'll get it done first thing in the morning.
Anybody buying this bullshit right here? Anybody? Anyone?
Depends on how much it is for sale.
Yep. And so they called me. They didn't call me. I had to call them Wednesday afternoon. I was like, hey, I haven't heard from you guys. What's going on with the rig? I kind of need it. And they're like, oh, we got one of the lines done. We'll finish up the second one on Thursday. And I'm like, are you kidding me? What the hell? I need the rig, you guys. So
Well, it was more complicated than they originally thought.
It was a lot more complicated. And granted, I give it to them. Originally, when they quoted me just 1 day of work, it was just extending the lines, and then they found out that the lines go directly into the frame rail.
Would work.
And so finally, I ended up going in, and they got the second line on, and then they pressure tested the system and charged the compressor, put new oil in the compressor Friday morning.
Wow.
I picked it up at 9:30 a.m. and left my house at 10:45 a.m. to come up here.
And it worked. Your air conditioning worked flawless.
It was fantastic, yeah.
The rig overheated coming up the hill, but the
That's a
AC was
fan shroud
great.
issue.
Jesus.
Jason,
Well,
you need air conditioning when your engine's at 270.
you do.
Right,
You
yeah.
really
To
do. To
balance
keep
everything out.
you should have a vent on your engine to cool your engine.
I would have been plugging the AC ducts
Rotate it around.
into the radiator, and you might have had a chance.
Oh my
I just wanted
god.
to point that out. you know.
These Toyota guys, they just think totally different than the Jeep guys here. I don't know. But to your credit, you made it up here because you were going to stay home and...
I wasn't going to come. I was like,
Yeah.
I figured my rig it has enough suspension travel. I've got 3950, so I have plenty of ground clearance to get, easily to Buck Island. I was a little concerned about the getting beyond Buck Island, but I was like, we're just going into
Right.
Spyder Lake this weekend. I was like, I shouldn't have any issues, but at the same time, I don't want to be the one guy that decides to
Don't
go
wanna
on the
be that guy.
Rubicon with
Right.
with an intentionally undergeared rig,
Right.
and cause a lot of problems for everybody else.
Right. No, that's
So-
true.
But it ended up working great. I never really had any issues. There was one spot where I couldn't just crawl through, and so I had to back up a little bit and kind of launch the front end over a rock. And with the new 3.4 motor in it, did it just fine.
Sure.
It came down once I was over that rock, crawled through then just perfectly, and then everything yesterday, no problems whatsoever, just that one spot. And then everything today, I thought today I would have some issues, at least on Indian Trail at some point. There's a lot of little ledges and like little spots on Indian Trail that can just give you some issues if you're not paying attention to your lines. Crawled everything today, never slipped a tire.
And you found a new line up that
was
bypass,
fun.
wall
Yeah.
bypass.
That new line was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a nice score.
I was literally just driving by, and I was like, I wasn't planning on going up there at all, up that ledge at all. I was just going to take the easy route around, and I was like, it looks like literally somebody put a ramp here
It was
to
kind
go
of
up.
a rock ramp, yeah.
And so I was like, it's not going to get me crossed over at all. It's as long as I just don't get too steep and too light on the front end, I should walk right up it. And I started going up, and I dropped my rear passenger tire into a hole, and I'm pretty sure my rear driver, my front passenger came way off the ground.
I wasn't watching at that point. There was too much going on between the Samurai and the 7 down there, the CJ7.
That caught my attention when I
everybody
saw you
was
do
going
that.
up there, yeah.
Yeah.
CJ was trying to come up the ledge further down. James was getting ready to come up further down beyond the CJ. And then you've got me trying to come up the ledge further
it was
up.
A cluster.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. I was trying to video, and I didn't know where to shoot video because there was a lot going on.
Yeah, Jason, you just had to enjoy the shit show.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I was glad I was already up because that is a steep climb. It's kind of halfway through the Indian Trail. It's a wall, and I had to climb straight up that. And with short wheelbase, it's
That's
climb.
actually one of my favorite climbs because normally, I mean, that time I didn't pick the right line, but in past events have I picked the right line, and with all that water in the front, it just holds that thing down and it walks right up. But yet you're pretty vertical, so
Exactly.
and I enjoy it.
doing wheelies up walls.
No, that's Jason.
Give it this
Jason
round
pulls
wheelie
wheelies
wall.
up walls.
I pulled a lot of tires off the ground.
Yeah,
I got to
did.
tell you, this I love the Sierras. I love granite and everything, but I forgot how slick these rock are out here and polished that they get. Because coming from Trail Hero on that sandstone, it's literally like driving on sandpaper, and it's so freaking, the traction's awesome. And you get out here and then without stickies, right? I miss my stickies. I'm like, okay. So if anybody's looking for Goodyear MTR 38 1450s on 17-inch wheels,
shortly.
I think I'm going to be selling those and getting some stickies for the Jeep, man.
You're spoiled. I was really confused. Like, what pressure were you running today? Because I was running behind you most of the day, and there was a lot of spots where you would just sit there and start spinning your tires.
I was at 8.
At 8.
I was at
Interesting.
8, yeah, and they were, the tires were folding up. I mean, they were engulfing the rocks. They were working like they should, but I just
You just need to get some IROX.
no. These I like these tires, but the stickies are where it's at. I'm
little
all
water.
about the stickies and water. Yeah, I think I'm going to throw some water in the front of the Jeep too. Now that
Then
I got
you're
the
gonna have to
adapter.
upgrade your Jeep to 14-bolt front.
No, I got Dynatracs in it. It's Dynatracs. It's all 35 spline Dynatrac. This thing's built.
Are you going to get some RCVs in there? Then?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
You're just going to run it all
I
the way
will run it.
is?
Those
With an
Dynatracs are
extra
great.
500 pounds of water in the front?
I won't do 500. I'll do somewhere around 445.
Okay.
I don't think you'll have a
440.
problem with
I'll
it.
do 480. Yeah, 480, 45,
482, somewhere in there. No, I don't know, but it's interesting. I mean, there's two different rides between the buggy and the Jeep, but I love the Jeep and being out here on this trail, and like CJ said, with the bikini top, and it's just it's fun. It's just it was an incredible day.
I think you'll do just fine on the little bit of water because I'm only running chrome alloys and 30 spline shafts, and
Yeah,
I'm on 37s, and the tires are probably pretty close to full. So
sure.
Your Dynatrac should have no problem.
Oh yeah. The drivetrain's there, so that's not the issue. And I drive it like an old man, but the spring over and as soft as those springs are, and with all that horsepower and torques, it wants to pull tires off the ground when you get traction. So, But okay, so let's talk about today. So we leave camp and we head out. We're at the top of Little Sluice, and so we head out on the trail to Buck Island and go out and it's dry. I mean, all the ponds that normally have water in them and lily pads and all that stuff, all dried up. I mean, I have never seen this trail this dry. I've always seen water in those ponds and stuff.
Those ponds, there's 2 or 3 of them between here and Buck Island, and I've never seen the rocks under there before.
No, I haven't either.
And I was going through, I was like, wow, I've never actually seen these rocks before.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It was. And then we pulled up to, the first kind of major obstacle for us, or the fun little photo section, was the wedge. Where you're running on your sidewall.
The first wedge, the first V-notch.
The first V-notch, yes. And we got some great photos there. And then there's Poser Rock just after that, where I rolled the buggy in
Jason's
June.
Rock.
yeah, in June. So, but I damn near rolled the Jeep in the V-notch this trip, trying to get all sideways for the gram. So I think CJ got some good photos. There was a lot of cameras going and stuff. So we'll have to see how that comes out.
Yeah, you didn't listen to my spawning though, Jason.
Well,
for a better photo.
I couldn't hear you. What do you mean?
Driver instead of passenger.
Oh, no. If I went more driver, I was definitely going on the passenger side. There was no doubt about it. I was watching my driver front tire come off the ground on that hillside. So if I went driver, it was game over. So, anyways, that was fun. And then, so everybody got photos and stuff, and we just cruised on. And then what was the next obstacle? Arnold's Rock?
Arnold's Rock, yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Good old Arnold's Rock. So you can go around to the left to Arnold's Rock, but, I'm like, hey, I got to go in between, because I made it through in the buggy, and the buggy's a lot wider than the CJ, and I've done it through my CJ before. So I'm going through, no problem. I got kind of more of an angle than I wanted to at Arnold's Rock, but just barely come in, and my passenger rear quarter panel kisses the rock.
Yeah.
White paint starts peeling off on the rock. Go, damn it! Damn it! That'll buff out.
I never looked. I wanted to take a look and see if there was a 14-inch Morphlate magnetic decal sitting there.
Oh, it's probably buried around there somewhere.
I'm guessing it's buried in the dirt there.
Well, I don't know. After that windstorm Sunday night, it probably blew down to freaking Rubicon Springs.
Probably.
I'll tell you. The wind was so bad out here that there was very few tire tracks.
Yeah.
There were not much traffic on the trail this weekend, and it was totally clean, like it had rained or something. It didn't rain. It was just so windy Sunday night in Northern California. There was gust up to...
Kirkwood hit 140 mile an hour.
I was going to say there was some stupid wind gust in the high Sierras, and I know at my house I had 62 mile an hour gust in East San Jose. So, and I thought my windows were going to blow out of my house. So, anyways, so we get through Arnold's Rock unscathed. Some of us, I scraped a little bit.
James
is ready to say something.
I really like Arnold's Rock because it's just this big rock in the middle of the trail.
Yeah.
Right. And there's so many different lines around it. I never realized before how many ways you can get around Arnold's Rock. So far, I've done 5-6 different lines around Arnold's Rock. I took a new one today. And I was like, it's just cool being out on the granite slabs where you can take and have all these different options to you from wild to wild.
Yes.
So
that line that you took up, I never seen anybody do. Kind of half up that little ledge and then work your way around Arnold's.
I wouldn't recommend it, but it worked. It worked. I tried going down that way.
Over.
Yeah, I went down that way today, and that wasn't advisable either. I should have gone
honestly,
straight.
I was like, oh crap, here we go.
Yeah, well, it was the driver's side tire was ready to drop down about 3 feet, and I go, driver rear, and I go, if I drop in that hole, I'm done. I'm laying on my side.
Over.
For sure. And I'm like,
and you'll look like a Toyota.
So I had exactly. So I can't let that happen. So I had to square that thing up and got a better line there. But that was I don't know. It's just we had fun just out there cruising. So get past, and one thing you was mentioning that. I mean, there's a lot of people that do this trail for the first time or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and don't know the names of all the obstacles. I mean, I heard one today called the Martini Tree.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the Martini
Nope,
Tree.
I didn't either.
Which is the big, huge tree at the top. It's right before, maybe 50 yards before
You start
the
dropping
top
down.
of Big Sluice.
Yeah.
And it has a sign way up there. I don't know who climbed
It's a
up
good
there.
80 feet or so.
At
yeah.
least, and it has a green sign that says "Damn Road Closed," and it's been there for years.
Yeah.
But John Arns says, "Oh yeah, it's because we were looking for these down trees that we'll get to in a minute." And he says, "Oh yeah, just past the Martini Tree," and I'm like, I never heard it called Martini Tree. So it would be great if they could laser etch and put onto the rocks and the obstacles of what these obstacles are named. The bathrooms have the names on them. Lower walker, upper walker. Soup Bowl's got a bathroom, and they've done a lot to the restroom facilities out here, which is great. But
What my concern is how many people would take those signs.
well, that's true. But I guess I saw all that at I go back to Trail Hero that I just did because everything was labeled out there.
Yeah.
And it was super cool to see that.
Yeah.
And having been there for the first time and not knowing what the obstacle, and then you see it there, and I'm like, that's a cool idea.
Well, what's really neat about that idea, that concept, CJ grabbed a mic, so I might be taking his thunder right now. But they actually have done quite a bit of different mapping out on the Rubicon. I know that John Arns, Rubicon Trail Foundation, has been working really closely with Onyx Off-Road
Oh, here
to
we go.
completely map the Rubicon.
Yeah.
Cartotracks?
Yeah, Cardo Tracks.
Cartotracks was out here this last week, and they did the complete Rubicon Trail, and then they went up and did Fordyce.
Okay, yes.
And then,
Danny.
there's different maps of Gaia out there with everything
Yeah.
labeled. So it's really cool if you're out and coming to the Rubicon, you've never been on here before, I'd recommend coming with somebody who knows the lines.
Yes.
Because, like we said, it can be mild to wild. You can have the time of your life or have the shittiest time of your life.
Well, yeah,
being out here.
one wrong line or going off a ledge, because there's some drop-offs that you're just going down the trail and there's tire tracks and stuff, and that just a buggy went down that line, but you got, a little CJ5, and then you're done.
I'll
And then-
comment on that.
Yeah.
I haven't actually gone through the whole trail, but just once, and it was 8 years ago. And then I found myself leading quite a bit today and doing Indian Trail coming back, and for quite a bit I was leading, and
Which you've never done
I've
Indian
never
Trail.
done before, but I needed
Yeah.
to go because of Gaia.
Yeah.
And so I had Gaia zoomed in big on my iPad and could see, tracks I downloaded with all the names and whatnot. And, frankly, it was pretty easy just to follow that. And I
Yeah.
think that's a testament to how well the trail's maintained, how well it's marked with the yellow markers that are on the slabs, but also the mapping that we've all done.
Yeah.
And that we've inherited and shared. And I thought that was pretty cool. I could see my past tracks from previous runs, but also parts I've never done before.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool.
And I love that aspect of Gaia where, I've inherited some stuff from you that you've documented over the years, and then, Johnson Valley, we were able to create some maps and stuff down there, and then Trail
I
Hero.
think we've created a pretty complete map of Johnson Valley now.
Oh yeah. That's a good
which is pretty cool because there's a lot of data out there for Johnson Valley, but it's all over
Random
in
tracks.
different places.
like side by side, just golf carts going all across the frickin' desert. And we got the more
And-
concise.
yeah, and I think CJ, you did a lot of the work on it.
Yeah.
So huge kudos to you of kind of getting all that stuff put into one place. So
Yeah,
it's
thank
cool to have those like publicly shareable databases with accurate data and information for off-roaders. So
And that's my big one with Gaia, right? Is that any track anyone makes is up there, which is tough, but you can go through and filter through it.
Yes.
But then you can share it.
Well-
you can share that link. Anybody can add it to their account if they have one, but they can also just download the GPX track and use it in their own app.
But how
And that's pretty cool without a subscription.
How great! And I'm not that computer literate. I know enough to be dangerous, but to learn how to use Gaia, and then I have the iPad and the buggy for the Tesla buggy
Tesla
pad
buggy.
there.
Your Tesla
And I'm doing that stuff, and then like this trip, I just have my iPhone and all that stuff that I had done on my buggy in June on the Rubicon Trail automatically talk to my
Synced
phone,
over,
and it's
yeah.
up. It's all synced with and then I get on my home computer, and it's all synced on there, and I'm like, dude, this is badass. That's what I like, and I think that's where Gaia has a leg up. But now I know Onyx is on high right now with all these different recent. What they just the Ultimate Adventure and stuff they just did. So
the Ultimate Adventure, and they're doing a bunch of other stuff right now. I think they're doing one of the big conferences or festivals, conferences, whatever I'm calling it.
Overlander convention,
something like that.
Yeah, traction boards. Put your traction boards down here.
Show up with your rig, but you don't actually wheel.
Yeah. Stir your latte here. Sorry, not sorry. All right, well,
an outdoor SEMA, I've heard it's called.
There you go.
have your scuttle section.
Your scuttle.
On that
yeah,
side.
here. This is a perfect spot to set up your scuttle.
They set it up with a picturesque scenery in the background,
yes.
so you can set up your scuttle and get some nice pictures.
Hey, we're rock landing this weekend. We got a lot of Gazelle tents here.
You guys have a rooftop tent, right?
Yes. Yes, the rooftop tent.
Like Gazelle strapped to the roll cage.
It's this is impressive rock landing going on. So we make fun of rock or overlanders, but we're just secretly jealous.
I got my fridge and my solar panel, my battery out and working. It's worked great.
You did. So you have that fridge that you took out of your rig today and hooked up to a power box.
Yep, the Jackery lithium-ion pad.
I love that.
Right? Such a funny name. But no, I had it out, and I used it all day yesterday. So 24 hours, the battery went down to 73%.
Really?
Yep. So 24 hours, 73%. And then today, I just threw out the solar panel while we were going out and about, and then threw the fridge underneath my little table.
I saw that.
And so it was somewhat in the shade kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when we got back here, the battery was at 100%. So
really, with the solar panel hooked up to it and hooked up to the fridge. Wow, that's impressive. That's an ARB fridge you got there. That's interesting. Yeah. So, CJ's got something. Go.
I was just going to try to get us back to driving on the trail.
I was going to say, let's go back to trail.
That was fun.
We got on this overlander tangent, but that happens on the podcast all the time. We go down
especially when you have
trails.
a Toyota owner with you.
Well, that's it. They just bring it to overlander
Toyota
status.
Rocklanders. We throw a lot of stuff in our rigs.
Yeah, at some point, Guy had told me there was a way to go, and it was called Old Sluice.
Yes, yes, and you went to Old Sluice. So talk about that. So you and Samurai James
was crazy enough to follow me.
Yeah. So you guys wanted to do Old Sluice.
I've never done the trail any other way. I didn't know any better.
Wow, that's interesting. So it'd been 8 years since you've done Old Sluice?
8 years since I'd done Old Sluice on 35s. Yeah.
And James has done Old Sluice with us in June. No, you didn't do it in June with us?
I've never done Old Sluice, and that's why I was kind of egging everybody on to do Old Sluice, because I hadn't seen that part of the trail yet.
Nice. So what did you think?
It was amazing. I certainly think the view up there up top right before you start diving down might be one of the best, if not the best view so far for me on the Rubicon. I
agree.
View.
You didn't use the shitter today.
No, that shitter right at the I guess it's right in that area. I don't know what that canyon's called. I mean, it's Indian Trail, but what do you call that area?
I just call it the shitter area.
Well, the shitter area, but
it has the best shitter you will ever go to.
Well, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, and it is the door opens up to this vast canyon, Sierras that just has the best view, and it is the best shitter in the Sierras.
So I'll let you guys get back to Old Sluice, but I just wanted to say that was my highlight of the day. I've passed that thing so many times. I've never used it. Finally got to use it today. The timing was just right.
It just worked out for you.
Just worked out, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to use the best shitter in the Sierras today.
So
I did not leave the door open while I was using it, but
yeah, you should have. You missed the opportunity.
I got some good pictures. I got some good pictures though before I closed it. So.
Okay.
So I have to say that I think the Grouse Ridge, there's an outhouse on top of that by the fire outlook. That's better.
No way.
They actually have a window cut in, so you don't even have to open the door. You can actually look at the view as you're doing your business.
My mind is blown. My mind is blown. Why don't we have that on that outhouse right here? Right? Who do we get in touch with to put portals in?
You just open the door.
We just need to put portals in.
Right. Anyways, okay, you guys get back to Old Sluice. I'm going to get a new drink.
Get a new drink? Better not be a White Claw. Nice jacket, by the way. Jesus. Yeah. Tyler's rig got stolen, right? Which sucked. And they gutted that thing, but they left his hideous and I'm being nice right now, hideous snowboarding jacket. It's definitely not a skiing jacket. It's a snowboarding jacket.
That says enough.
And he wears it. Yeah. He wears it all the time. He knows it pisses me off to no end, and that's why he wears it. I don't even think it's warm anymore. He just wears it to piss me off, and it still works.
So back to Old Sluice.
Back to Old Sluice.
I had a passenger for Old Sluice.
Oh, yes, you did. So
great. I thought I'd give it my Rhonda here and let her talk about it. No, Johnson was...
Oh, Johnson wasn't with you then.
I had him.
You had Johnson in your rig.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. You talk, CJ, go.
Well, I was going to pass the mic to Rhonda, but we had a nice view, like James said, from up top, and we actually got to see some micro machines cruising around the granite down below.
Yeah.
But Rhonda, maybe she can tell us a little bit about
her experience,
obstacles and her experience. Yeah.
Okay. Let's pass the mic.
It was like my first time riding in a Jeep, actually. So
really, no.
Yeah, because I rode with you in the buggy, but not the Jeep. And
wow.
Other than that, or the Toyota before with Tyler on the way to Old Sluice. But yeah, no, it was a beautiful trail. View was amazing, and we got to move a few trees out of the way, which was fun. And then, it's just a nice, once you get down to the rocky section and the kind of that narrow canyon going down, it was nice. And CJ did an awesome job. He picked good lines, and we had no problem. So
I can't say the same.
And then,
what happened to James?
That's where I almost had to use the element fire extinguisher.
So this is good. There you go. So your wife won the element fire extinguisher for the patron giveaway there.
Unfortunately, it came close to having to use it.
And so Tyler and I drove around Indian Trail because I go, dude, I was on Old Sluice in June. Love Old Sluice. I think it's the best part of the trail by far. But I go, hey, I'm going to go around it today. I don't want to go beating my shit up. We're gonna park at the bottom. We're gonna hike back up, and we'll meet you at the hard section. And that's what we did. And we come up, and Tyler and I stopped about, 50 feet from where you just wedged yourself up against some rocks. What the hell was that all about?
I'll be honest with you. I was kind of talking to Johnson, and I wasn't really paying attention. Like, I was watching CJ. He went down, and
Jeep line is the problem.
Yeah, he was taking the Jeep line.
I heard about somebody who wouldn't follow a samurai line earlier.
Whoa. Hey-o.
So I wasn't half-ass paying attention, and he's got a lot longer wheelbase than I do. So he went down nice and smooth, and I wasn't even paying attention. And then when we hit this drop, the way my carburetor's set up, it's set up to where I can basically stand the Samurai up on the rear, and it'll stay running. But if you stand it up on or if you nosedive it, it will not stay running because the fuel just runs out of the bowl.
Yeah, that was
weird.
It
it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Game you play with the carburetor.
Yeah.
And so once I dropped and it already started to sputter, I was like, "Oh, we're done. Pull the winch."
Well, we popped the hood, and you were dripping quite a bit of gas.
Yeah,
on a warm engine, and I'm like, okay, let's get that fire extinguisher out ready.
I didn't turn my electric fuel pump off.
No,
I forgot about that.
Okay.
I didn't hit my switch.
Okay,
so that probably didn't help. And then, once we got the element out, I went back and turned my fuel line off. So just to be safe.
Yeah,
and we just ran the winch cable down to
got to break in your brand new winch cable.
Yeah, got a brand new Schmitty that we Ron and I literally put on 10 o'clock Thursday night at like 10:30 before the run.
That's
literally
great.
Got the box and just, all right, let's do it. So,
here we go.
So, which it came in handy.
It did come in handy today.
Came in handy.
CJ could have turned around and pulled you, but it was that was a good. You were wedged up against rocks.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
And I didn't like
deep.
all the pressure that was on your steering was full passenger lock.
Yeah,
and it was pulling you to the driver, and I'm watching your tires flex, and I go, "This is not good. This is no bueno."
It was. I'm really glad. So last year we switched over and put 1-ton steering on that thing. So.
Yes, no, it proved itself right there.
Yeah, you weren't watching it from my side.
Yeah, no, I was on the passenger side.
The whole wheel was like pulling. Like I thought it was going to rip the sidewalls of his tires
off the rim.
Yeah, well, because he's got beadlocks, right?
Yeah.
So I can just see the whole sidewall literally stretching and giving as his tires were turned to passenger and we're pulling him driver. I was like, I don't like where this is going.
No, it looked bad.
Well, lucky for me, on the bright side on the tires, those tires are pretty hardened up. So those are about 18-year-old Pro Comps.
That's
so
right.
good.
The 18-year-old Pro Comps, they're just getting broken in.
Yeah. Still probably got about 70% tread on them, too.
Well, but I heard, Jason, if you put water in your tires, it helps with the dry rot.
That's
for the
true.
tires.
That's
Right.
true. It keeps them moist. It's like moisturizing your hands,
Exactly.
right?
Or if you water them, they might grow in the
They
40s.
might grow in the 40s. Okay. Yeah. No. It was a good bind, but you were able to get out of that and pretty uneventful the rest of the way down Old Sluice, huh?
Yeah, no problems. It was nice to have a shot of the Jeep there. That I had
There's some
from 8
good
years ago.
good photo ops. And
8 years ago, I have a picture of my Jeep in that down in that kind of gully down the bottom of Old Sluice. And,
yeah.
there's no license plate in that picture. And earlier in the trail, I looked at some photos and I had a license plate.
Oh.
So I hopped on Pirate 4x4 8 years ago and said somewhere between this mile marker and this
that's
mile
right.
marker, I lost a front license plate. And it's a vanity plate.
Yeah.
I'd really appreciate it if someone found it.
Yeah.
Sure enough, someone picked it up and mailed it to me.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. Just a quick comment about the four-wheel drive community and all that
Yes.
stuff. And I figured it's just a memorable spot for me.
Oh, look
so
at
it's fun to go
you.
back.
Do a little reminiscing.
Yeah.
So I lost a rear license plate on the Rubicon 3.5 years ago. Never got it back.
It's because you're a Toyota owner.
That's you don't know that though. You find a license plate. I think
My license plate says CJ's CJ7.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
quite
That is
obvious
true.
I'm a Jeep
Yeah.
owner.
Yeah.
Mine
What
was
did
my
yours
hand
say?
back.
Mine had my ham call sign, so I probably looked up and they're like, "Oh, Tyler, fuck that
Yeah.
guy. He's not getting it back."
Oh boy.
Anyway, yeah, we got to the bottom where you guys nicely spotted us through. And I guess at the bottom there was a big tree in the way.
Well, we had a tree blocking coming off of Indian Trail, right at the intersection of Indian Trail and what I'll call Lower Old Sluice when you're on the Buck Island side.
That's where Old Sluice just comes back to the
Yes.
into the main
The
trail
main
now.
trail.
Yeah.
And there was a good-sized tree there, so we parked there, went up, met you, and I said, okay, we'll go spot them and see what they're doing, and then come back down. And you had a chainsaw, Tyler. So
As I
said,
always do.
yeah, it came in handy again. And so you limbed it up, and it was already broken in a good spot, and then I kind of positioned myself off to the side and was able to winch it. And we had some good winching techniques there. We've cleared a lot of trees off the trails over the years, and one of the tricks is wrapping the tow strap around if you need the log to roll up and over a rock or something, and we needed it to do that. So that worked out really, really well today to roll that log up, and it went right into position
We did
perfectly.
that out at Deer Valley.
Yes,
There's some
yes.
great video of
Yeah,
doing that
last
to a
year.
massive tree out at Deer
Yeah.
Valley, and it worked beautifully, and it worked great today too.
Yes, yeah, that's a good little technique, and
It was great to learn that because I hadn't seen that before.
Oh,
so
really?
That was pretty
nice.
awesome.
yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So that was good, and then so we got that tree cleared, and then
While we were doing that,
while we were doing that,
we had a couple rigs show behind us.
yes, we did,
So
and you were chatting away over there.
yeah, we got done, and the guy comes up. He goes, "Oh, Snail Trail 4x4. How do you know them?" And I was like, "I'm
How do you
Tyler."
know them?
he goes, "Oh, I've been listening to you since back to the High Sierra days." I was like, "Oh, cool." So we just started chatting away, and then finally the rest of you guys come back. You're like, "Are we moving? What's going on?" I'm like, "Sorry, I'm socializing, guys."
So that was Paul.
Paul, Simon,
That-
and Daniel.
Oh, look at you! Good job. Paul had the 53 Willys.
I got a funny story about him.
Oh boy, here we go. And then Simon and Daniel had this 2006 LJ, the
He had
unicorn
the
Jeep,
Unicorn
black.
LJ Rubicon.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was very well done.
Yeah.
Paul though, in the Willys, that Willys was on 30-inch tires,
Yes.
1050 wide,
Yep.
and front locker, no power steering, power arm steering.
Yeah. Armstrong steering. We
Armstrong
call that
steering, there you go.
Armstrong steering.
And he said that he's taken that Jeep through the trail here at least 30 times. 1953 Willys.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see just watching him drive it and maneuver it. And I was like, oh my God, I would never do that. But it's cool to watch somebody else do it.
Well, he had, if you looked at the dash, it had Jeepers Jamboree stickers or the dash plaques up the wazoo. So the previous owner had been on the Jeepers Jamboree over all the years. So it was a lot of history. That Jeep definitely...
Seems like
probably
he's carrying
drive
that
itself.
lineage on. That Jeep
Yeah.
22 some odd runs, and he said he's done about 8 with it.
Yeah.
And pretty cool to see it still out here doing its thing, and new body mounts on it. He's taking care of the parts that need to get taken care of, and the rest of it is just perfect.
I noticed
Jeep character.
I noticed a welding helmet in there.
Oh, did you?
So I don't know. I didn't see a welder or ready welder in there. No passenger seat.
Yeah, no passenger seat.
No roll cage.
Just a one little bar behind
It
the
had a B
driver.
pillar with a seat.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
If you're using that, it's not doing
It's
much.
not. It's not going to help you out a whole lot. But
You're better off jumping out of the rig
No
before it
kidding.
rolls.
Kidding. But it was cool. It was a cool rig.
So
And,
that thing, it's pretty much stock, right? And it has, I don't know, 8 inches of ground clearance, maybe,
and hardly any wheel
and
travel.
flexes like a forklift.
Yeah,
So, as we were getting ready to leave Buck Island and head down to Big Sluice, I went back to the 4Runner to grab the chainsaw, right? And I'm walking back to the 4Runner, and he is turtled and spinning like a top on this rock.
No way.
Yes. It was awesome walking up. I'm just laughing. I'm like, Paul, what are you doing over there? He goes, I'm trying to get off. I'm stuck on here, but the rock is stuck right under my clutch pedal, so I can't put my clutch pedal
Can't
down.
even engage it.
He couldn't disengage it.
Disengage. I
So he had to rev up the engine, then pop it into his gears to do it, right? And so I'm like, I can call the guys over here. We can just pick you up and move you over 2 feet. It will be good. And he goes, no, I got it. And he's sitting there just spinning one way and stop, and he'd try and reverse and spin the other way, and then stop, go forward, to spin the other way. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's
So,
hilarious.
Tyler, I had the pleasure of crawling under that rig before that
Did you?
incident.
Oh,
really?
And the skid plate is nicely protecting the transfer case. It's also the cross member.
Okay.
But those old Willys have the drum brake on. The parking brake is on the drive shaft.
On the drive shaft, yeah.
And it hangs down as far as the skid plate. Behind the skid plate, it has rock marks all
I
over
bet.
it. And I'm sure it was the wheel.
Yeah.
It was probably the
around.
wheel. Oh, you're probably right.
Oh,
It was
that's funny.
it was
That's probably right.
yeah, it showed some love for sure. But
So we ended up. I told him. I said, all right, go forward. We're gonna pivot you forward, make some space here, and then I threw a rock under just right. It was like a little ramp rock. I was like, all right, now when you're gonna go in reverse and pivot backwards, and you're just gonna pivot right into this rock, and hopefully it'll lift you up off of this thing, get you
Okay.
over. And it worked out great, and he came right over. He goes, thank you so much. I was like, no problem, man. As entertaining as that was to watch, I wanted to see you keep going.
That's great.
So that's a fun Paul
I
story.
heard it spin the bottle, but I hadn't heard it spin
Yeah,
the
spin
juice.
the willies.
Spin the willies.
Spin the willies.
That sounds never mind.
Wow. So yeah, then we had lunch over there at Buck Island, and the lake. I had never seen it that empty. I mean, it was.
It's low.
Was it I would say it was like an eighth full. I mean, it was low.
Yeah.
Low. Yeah. And so we had lunch. A couple rigs went through, and then you said, "Hey, let's go over to the tunnel."
So I want to clarify really quick.
Clarify.
There was one rig that came through and said something to you.
To me?
I think
Didn't
so.
say it to me.
I heard he said it to somebody about blocking a trail. Oh, he said it to Johnson.
I plead the fifth. I didn't hear
I
anything.
didn't hear anything.
No, because if he would have said it to me,
It was
I would
the
have said
second
something
rig.
back.
It was the second rig
Uh-huh.
that said something like, "Man, you guys are it's bullshit. You guys are blocking the trail or something." And we weren't. I mean, the trail was wide open for people to get through there just fine. But I was curious if you remember the color of that Jeep. Was it a white Jeep?
No.
Okay, never mind then. Because we have a pattern of white Jeeps causing issues on the trail for some reason.
I have a white Jeep.
It was
I
a
know.
latte maker Jeep.
Well, it was a
just to be
JK.
clear.
Was
JL.
it?
It was a
It was
JL.
it was one of the silver JLs.
It was a brand new JL.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was dropping his ash, and he threw his we found some cigarette butts right around there too
Oh,
as he was coming
really?
through. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
So-
know. No.
Anyways, just want to call him out.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't know who he is, what his name is. I didn't catch the license plate, but
Wow.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick on the trail, guys.
Well, especially, dude, don't be dumping your ashes out on the trail.
Right.
I mean, it's like you save fire out here, and the fire's going to start. It's just freaking dry. Okay, yeah. So we have lunch, and then you said, "Hey, let's go over to the tunnel."
Yeah.
So
we got
there's
to check out a couple of fun little features this weekend.
so let's talk about yesterday's little excursion by the Soup Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want me to talk about it?
Well, yeah, because it's your thing.
You took us there.
Yeah.
So, this is Jimmy and I have talked about this. It's it's called the Georgetown Trench or the Georgetown Ditch.
Okay.
And what it was
Sounds like a
Smud.
dance.
Yeah, it kind of is. Smud was trying to connect Spyder Lake to Loon Lake so that they can capture more of the water and create more hydroelectricity up here in the Sierras. And what happened was they had all the plans laid out. They had to build these flumes each year, and they built this ginormous ditch into the blue granite.
Yeah.
And it's 12 feet deep, 5 feet, 6 feet wide maybe, and then 100 to 120 feet long. And it's just out there right below Soup Bowl, and you never would know.
Nope.
Ever. Never would know.
I didn't know. I passed it 100 times and never knew it was there until you showed it to me yesterday, and we got some great photos in there.
Yep. So you just kind of go from Soup Bowl and hike 200 yards straight south of Soup Bowl, and you'll find this just giant ditch, and there's all this rock that's been kind of like dug out and drilled out and blasted out and out on the sides, and you walk up to the top of the rock and you just look down
right
into this ditch. So that was fun. We got to check that out yesterday.
And then today, with the lake Buck Island being damn near empty, we were able to go over to where the big tunnel is, the outlet, one of the outlets. There's a couple outlets of Buck Island water, and this one you said goes to Loon Lake. There's a tunnel
straight to Loon Lake,
and it's drilled through the granite.
Oh yeah, it's a 15-foot diameter. What would you think that was?
Oh, at least.
You think so? You think it might be 20?
Yeah.
20-foot diameter?
I don't know if it's 20 feet in diameter, but it was, and you could see all the drill marks and stuff. I mean, I can't imagine going through it, looking at this thing and going, okay, we're going to drill through this mountain for a half mile plus.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally like a Bugs Bunny cartoon or something where you look down and you could see a tiny little light that was like the size of a dime at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah.
And it was pretty epic.
Yeah, I mean, don't ever, I'm not advocating this, but I mean, it's big enough you could drive a rig through there.
Oh, yeah, but
don't do it. That's stupid.
There's gates, and it's not good.
No. But that was really cool because I've walked to that tunnel before. I've checked it out on the Buck Island side.
Okay.
But that's always been when the lake is full. So
you mean the Loon Lake side?
No, the Buck Island side.
Oh, Buck Island side.
I've walked to it a few times now on the Buck Island side, but Buck Island has always been full when I've done it.
So how do you? Oh, you walk to the gates.
Yeah, to the gates. So I walk
yes.
across the dams.
Yeah, there's two dams.
So you walk across the dams, and then you get up on top of the gates. And you can kind of just look down and watch all the water going in.
And it's not very deep in that section because the water was gone, but you can see the level gauge that said, and it's about 6-7 feet when it's at its capacity in that area, which isn't very deep.
No, but the water rushes through
but
there.
It's crazy because it funnels into there.
Flies through there. So it's always been cool. I've heard about it, and I've always wanted to go down and check that out with the water down so low, and we got to do that today. That was super cool.
That was a bonus.
But yeah, that tunnel goes. A fun fact about that tunnel is it goes from Buck Island to Loon Lake.
Okay,
half a mile, 3/4 mile long, something like that. But all the rock that they use to do maintenance on the Rubicon Trail, that they helicopter in, drop on the trail, and the volunteers spread out.
Yeah, that they did a few weeks ago out here.
All that rock comes from that tunnel.
Oh, I believe it.
So there's a massive rock quarry pile that they've put all the rock in on the Loon Lake side, that they helicopter in the rock from the Loon Lake side from that rock pile.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's good use of recycling.
Yeah. I mean, the history here, but I did from running the trail in June to, here we are, July, August, September, October.
Halloween.
Yeah, 4 months later, a lot of maintenance has been done on this trail.
Yeah.
A lot of maintenance.
Yep. Yeah, I think that they took advantage of the trails and national
Yes.
forests being shut down due to fire dangers to make some maintenance done on the trail, and it's nice. I've always been like, is that much maintenance really necessary for the trail? Do we really want to make the trail easier? And I thought about it, and thanks to especially talking to these two guys over here, the live audience in the studio.
Yeah.
This is their first time out on the trail.
Okay.
I mean, the Mr. and Mrs. Samurai over here too. Their first time out wheeling was on this trail as well.
Yes.
And I started thinking about it. I was like, this is the perfect trail to bring newbies out if their rig is capable of it.
Right.
Because there are so many different lines. As long as you can get them on the right lines, they're going to have success. They're going to do some really bitchin' stuff, and they're going to see some really cool views. They're going to be hooked for life.
Right.
So, I have some issues with making the trail quote unquote easier, but at the same time, the trail. There's still a lot of sections of the trail that are really difficult that you can have it be as difficult as you want. So,
but it's not making the trail easier. I mean, this trail is under so much scrutiny, and everybody knows this trail. Even people that don't even four-wheel have heard of the Rubicon. You know, and so it's a matter of keeping it open.
Yeah.
And yes, people could argue all these different things that have been done over the years, but the bottom line is the trail is happy and healthy.
Yeah.
It's open. It's a county road. It's going to stay open. There's private property owners out here that need access to their properties, so that allows the trail to stay open. There's a lot of factors involved, but the maintenance is there, and I'm glad to see that it's happening. The resources are being thrown at this trail, any off-road trail, because the scenery, like you say, out here is incredible, as iconic as the Rubicon is, and for people to come out here for the first time and see it, and this is my 30th year out on the Rubicon, and it's like, it still amazes me.
Yeah.
And there's still stuff out here that catches my attention, especially when you're driving a CJ5 picking shitty lines.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's great.
Driving past a giant trench in the ground for 30 years. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
So the
testament
history.
to this trail. I spent a lot of time on some of the Highway 4 trails and some other places. I've been wheeling 18 years, and to see the Rubicon receive this much love and attention, that's just all helping with erosion. It's all keeping the rocks in the right spot and allowing you to continue to wheel the trail that you know.
Yep.
Yes.
Versus a bunch of holes being dug and dirt eroding out and hillsides that you can no longer traverse because the side of the hill eroded away. And I think it's just a testament to all the effort and people that put into this trail and love this trail. Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you,
for
thank
sure.
you.
There's definitely people that are very passionate about this trail, many volunteer hours. And along those lines, we did a few volunteer hours ourselves today.
Yep.
So we finished lunch. We did the little tunnel tour, kind of walked partway into it and got some photos and stuff, and then headed back to our rigs. And, Tyler's got his ham on him 24/7. And
As always.
and John Arns calls him up, and he goes, hey, you guys still at Buck? Yeah. Well, you got a chainsaw? Yeah. Well, I understand there's a couple of trees between Buck Island and the Martini tree. And I'm like, where the hell's the Martini tree? It's
What's
got to
the
be
Martini
that tree with the damn road sign.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
the tree right at the top of Big Sluice. We're like, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
the damn road closed.
and I'm like, well, it's not that far. And so Tyler looks at me and he goes, what do you think? And I'm like, well, let's go. Let's go check it out, And it was like, what, 3 o'clock at this time, 2:45?
I would like to point out, this is the second time John's done that to me.
Oh, nice. Nice.
He knows I'm out on the trail, and he knows I've got my ham on me at all times, and he'll know I'm usually like talking to him while I'm out there, so he knows roughly where I'm at on the trail usually.
We were
And-
checking in with him, yeah.
And so he knew we were out at Buck Island. He goes, "Hey, do you guys mind? I know you're down there. You don't have to, but it'd
I
be
was
really
going
cool
to
if
take a
you
run
could."
out there.
I was going to
yeah.
be saving me a trip.
We're
And I was
more
like,
than
"No,
happy
we're
to do
here."
it. More
Absolutely.
than happy to do
Plus,
it.
I could play with my chainsaw. So.
Yes, exactly.
But he did that before. There was a person that we needed to get information to on the trail. We needed to find the person.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I happened to be kind of at the front of the trail, and they had a bunch of people from the Springs working their way up the trail. So I was going to start at the front of the trail and work. And I was just like, all right, John. Yeah, you got it, man. Absolutely. But it's fun. It's cool because that's one of the beauties of having good communications out here is you can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we got to go down to Big Sluice and kind of work our way down and find.
Well, before Big Sluice, we hit the tree that was across the gnarly little CJ5 area, I call it, where John's dad, John Allen's dad, got all crossed up one year. But it's a nasty, rocky little section, and there was a tree down across there that we did a little snatch block off a tree and pulled that tree off to the side of the trail. So that was kind of cool.
Yep.
And
James climbed a tree almost.
He did. So we got James down on a lower little bypass trail that kind of skirts Buck Island, and he stood on his roof and put the snatch block and the tree saver way up in the tree for us.
Yeah, that worked.
How'd that work out?
Worked out really well. You know, CJ picked out a great spot to pull up to, make it easy, and with my wide tires, I mean, you can just walk right up to the roof.
Right. Yeah, you were right on the roof, upper the balcony there, the penthouse suite.
Penthouse suite.
So yeah, we cleared that. Great team effort there. We had.
I would like to point out that went really quick. That was.
It
it wasn't
go quick.
A small tree, but it wasn't a big tree either.
And it was green.
It was green. It was heavy, and I think we had that entire tree cleared from the time we pulled up to the time we went through it. 15 minutes?
I was going to say 15, 20 minutes.
And, I mean, it was really cool to see everyone's like, oh, well, here, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. And everyone just kind of did it all at the same time, and it worked out beautifully.
Yeah, everybody had a job, and it just worked well. You know, we started rigging. Tyler, you started cutting the limbs off.
I just kind of blocked you guys out. I was like, you guys do whatever the hell you want.
Throwing all the branches and stuff off the trail.
Rhonda was working her ass off. But what's interesting, you know, when you doing these adopted trails or whatever, clearing a tree off the trail, you know, it's figuring out a plan. And so, you know, we came up there and we had a few ideas of what to do, and we're like, okay, what if we snatch block off this tree and pull it this way? And okay, Tyler, you limit up with the chainsaw. James, you get down there to rig the, you know, because we needed you high in the tree because we didn't want to pull down on this tree. So
into the ground.
Yeah, it is just from experience of doing a lot of different recoveries and tree removals off of trails where you're like, okay, you know, I think this will work. Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
And it was great. That one went very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And then we heard there was another tree between us and the martini tree. Well, we get up to the martini tree, ain't nothing there.
Nothing there.
And then I get to the top of the big sluice. I'm like, hey, I'm at the top of the big sluice. There ain't nothing. You radio down, Tyler, to John Arns again and go, where's this other tree? And he goes, well, I heard a tree down in the big sluice. And I'm like, oh, crap. Okay, let's go down to the big sluice and go see. So we went down the hill.
He said over the radio, he goes, yeah, word is that the squeeze tree is down. I was like, there's no way the squeeze tree, because the quote-unquote the squeeze tree in Big Sluice.
Right in the middle of Big Sluice.
It's the famous tree that's right in the middle of the trail with two massive rocks on the other side of it.
Right.
And you have to kind of squeeze through it, or if you
left
have
or right.
a wider rig, you have to go far left to just kind of go over a boulder patch and get through that way. But most people just squeeze through the tree in this massive two boulders.
Right.
And I was like, there's no way. That's a big-ass tree. There's no way that one came down. I thought I was talking about something else.
Nope. She gone.
And nope. Yeah.
She gone.
Gone.
Holy smokes. Yeah.
Gone.
We went around that hairpin corner there and then looked down. And I go, oh my gosh, that tree is down.
Yeah.
It uprooted.
Yep.
It didn't snap in half, but it uprooted.
It snapped the roots.
Well, it did.
Some of those roots are 8 to 10 inch diameter roots, and those snapped. I was like,
and that tree's like 30 plus in diameter inches, and your saw wasn't going to cut through it. It was a dangerous situation with the weight that was on it. The tree did snap further up the hill, but it would have taken 3.
It was bridging.
It was bridging
from where it was
the left
used
side
to be
of the
rooted.
Yes,
off to the left side of the trail,
up into the hillside.
Yeah,
and you know, we've done some recoveries like that on our adopted trails, and it's a dicey situation. You got to have some wedges to keep your saw from getting pinched, and you got to have a big bar. You know, the Widowmaker chainsaw and stuff, and
sometimes a Unimog.
Yeah, and a Unimog with a crazy
With a-
30,000-pound winch or some shit.
and a tree saver that's a foot.
Yeah, that doubles as a hammock. But yes, it was. I looked at this and I looked at my phone and it was like 4:40 or something, and I'm like, we don't have much daylight left.
No.
We don't have the equipment, and the trail you can get around it on the right hand side, going down to the spring, so it is doable.
Yep.
And I'm just like, we can't unfortunately tackle this thing right now. This is not a good idea.
No.
So we took a bunch of photos.
Yep.
We took a bunch of
Like
photos
trophy
of the tree.
pictures almost.
Yeah, standing on the tree, you know, and stuff. But it's sad to see that go down because it definitely it made the trail a lot easier because that was one of the pinch points, the only pinch point I should say on the big sluice that you know. It forced you to pick a line left or right, and neither one was better than the other, really.
They were the same.
It was a crapshoot of how it worked out for your vehicle. But
I will say the far left line, though, through the boulder patch, closed. You cannot run it.
So, she gone.
Yeah, plan on just
right
running,
now.
Yeah, right now it is. So plan on just kind of running down the middle.
Somebody
of the
will
trail
come
now.
in. You just need some big saws, heavy equipment, and then you can get that thing out of there pretty quick. But
maybe get that Spyder excavator in here.
Yes,
that thing's badass.
Yeah, that thing is badass.
Yeah.
But so we turned around there and headed back to Spyder Lake.
We did, Jason, but some of us
What happened?
weren't in vehicles.
Oh, what happened?
Remember, I think poor Rhonda had to walk all the way up the
Rhonda
hill.
did walk,
And
because
is that because Tyler was riding?
that's right.
not in
And
his
why
rig?
why was Tyler not in his rig, CJ?
No lockers?
Because
Is that
Tyler
right?
No
has
lockers.
AC.
Because Tyler has AC.
I didn't want
so
I didn't
AC
want to
before
damage
lockers.
I didn't want to damage my AC compressor getting down to big
It's,
sluice.
you know what?
AC
It's
before
one
lockers.
thing to say I'm going to walk. I don't need my
Stereo?
It's another to kick Rhonda out of a passenger
Yeah.
seat. And
And
make
poor
her
Rhonda's
walk
been
up the
working
hill.
her ass off all day.
Right. She moved a tree by herself on Old Sluice.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah.
And I was impressed.
There you go.
I sat in my Jeep and looked at. I did not help. I
There
feel
you-
bad.
Oh, really?
did.
You just watched it? Did you take video or anything?
I have photo. I don't even have photo evidence.
Wow.
I'm so ashamed by not helping. I
That's
didn't
pretty
take
bad.
photo
Did you offer a couple cookies
I
or
did.
something at least? Okay.
those of you on the trip know I pay with cookies.
Yes, I did. I like that payment.
Yeah.
So,
But, yeah.
I would like to
Rhonda-
point out that
Oh, here
Rhonda
we
and I
go.
talked about this beforehand, and we came up with an agreement that I would walk down, and then I would get to ride back up. So
how'd that work out? Do you draw straws or did you lose Rochambeau? What happened there,
Drives a
Rhonda?
Toyota. I felt bad for him.
Oh yeah, there it is. Nice.
I will
love
take it however I can get it.
Late night Spyder Lake talk here. I love this. That's awesome.
Anyway, Jason, continue the story. I just wanted to point out.
No,
that
but
Tyler is not
he has air conditioning and a functioning stereo. No functioning winch, no functioning lockers,
and a leaky tire
and a tire that's leaking,
with no air compressor to air it up.
and no compressor to air. You're right.
Right.
But priorities are there. He can bump his usher, you know, and
There's a solar panel.
and he's got solar
panel,
He's got a solar panel on the
I
rig.
keep my beer cold indefinitely.
and then you got your AC to keep cold, even though the engine's overheating while it's trying to cool the inside of the cab.
Some good Home Depot ductwork could fix that.
This is typical Toyota owner logic here. I think that's what we're seeing. I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know what else to say. James,
it's beyond you
Lorenzo
guys.
might need to have a talk with him.
oh, Lorenzo doesn't even.
We're
know.
not on talking terms. anymore.
Lorenzo went over to the Snail Trail podcast and he shook his head.
Yep.
He got fired.
Yeah.
He got fired. And he goes, Jason, I didn't do anything wrong. I tried to help them out.
Well, he
they
didn't
wouldn't
do
listen
anything.
to me.
That was the problem.
No, he did a lot.
No, he did not.
He does a lot.
Yeah, he tried drinking all the whiskey, and
Well,
we were
he
like,
does
"You can't
good.
have
He
that."
does good at drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he saw all your cases of Fireball, and he goes, "I'm out of here. This is
I
crap.
only have 3.
It's crap whiskey that
only
they
have
have
3
over at the
cases,
Snail
all
Trail
right.
garage." So he came back to us, and he's
No, it's
been
okay.
the best.
Jimmy doesn't
best
even let
super
me bring
producer
the.
since then.
Jimmy doesn't even let me bring Fireball over to the studio.
Good.
So.
See, I like Jimmy more and more every day. He is my favorite Snail Trail host. Where are you, Jimmy? Wow, that was like that
Oh,
concludes bashing on Tyler for the last 5 minutes.
No, keep bringing it up. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. I'll be here all night.
It was more a compliment of Rhonda.
Well, yes,
I think she beat my Jeep to the top of the hill. Just saying.
she did hustle up that hill.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful day.
It was a
for
neck and neck
walk.
race a couple times, but she just kept taking the lead.
No, that was cool. That was cool. So Tyler left his Forerunner at Buck Island.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
all
it's
by
for running,
itself.
not-
Kermit
not driving.
Kermit was crying when I drove up, but there was 2 Eskimos inside, perfectly content with the AC going. So it was great. It was great. So there you go, and a polar bear in the back. I think I'm not certain, but I think I saw a polar bear in the back. There was steam coming out of the radiator, but inside was just brisk. All right, so then we kind of hightailed it back to camp at that point. But Indian Trail, I got to say, coming up Indian Trail in a CJ5 and a Samurai is quite the experience. I've done it several times, but I don't know. Today I was picking some bad lines, and I was pulling wheel tires up in the air, and it made it, but it definitely caught my attention a few times.
Yeah, I've never done Indian Trail before, and I was at one point leading, and I'm just following Gaia and following the markers, and it's well marked, and it's a great trail with a good view. We passed the RTF entrance, etc. But a couple of those ledges, if you don't have your front locker on, or you're hitting it just not one tire at a time. It's
right.
easy to get a little bit cattywampus there.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of off camber and just little steps, like little 1.5 foot tall steps that you got to hit just right in that polished granite, and lockers and trying. But Tyler made it up without lockers.
Toyota Open had no troubles on
you
Indian
actually
Trail today.
surprised me today. I and yesterday. We'll see if you get out of here tomorrow, but I was impressed that you made it through all that without getting a tug. Because
I got to admit, there was some points today where I'm looking at my options and my lines available, and I'm like, well, this is not going to work out.
Good.
This is not good. And I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. Let's go for it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And just crawled right up.
You
No
got the
problems.
torques.
Never had any issues. Coming back after you guys left me and
where
abandoned
did we leave
me.
you? Whoa, no.
When I was
don't leave.
socializing with the Toyotas.
Well, that
my
was
people.
no.
My people.
Your people. That's
I was
fine.
talking with
Do you
my
wanna
people.
own? Do you want to
I don't
own
know
those
if I wanna
people as
own
your
those
Yeah,
people?
I don't know if
Because-
you want to own those
we
people
can
as
tell
your
more
people.
of that story.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you want to
No.
own them as your people.
No.
No, they're really cool. I forgot to get their names. I was going to get their names.
You're
give them a
so
shout out,
bad.
but, we ran into Patrick down at Buck Island with the Jeepster.
Oh yeah,
A really nice Jeepster.
that is a nice Jeepster.
He was cool. I was driving by. He goes, "Oh, Snail Trail. I listen to you every day." I was like, "That's awesome." He goes, "Did you get your lockers fixed?" I was like, "Nope." He goes, "Right on."
You have to listen every day to get caught up with you guys.
No, so after the section where you're coming up near Merlin's picnic table.
Oh yeah.
So coming up that, I started going up, and I was just a tiny bit too far driver, and I was like, I just started spinning out, and I could feel the transfer of the power going to the open tire, right? Coming up with that last little climb there.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, this is going to suck. They're already back at camp. I'm going to have to call them out here. I'm going to get so much shit.
I
for
wouldn't
this.
have come back. I
know,
wouldn't have
right?
come back. I was in.
And so I'm like, all right,
Cocktails
let's
were flowing
see
already.
if I can. So I just kind of backed down, I don't know, 20 feet and took a good look at it. And I was like, I think if I go high this side, it might work out. And I did it and just crawled right up, no issues. And I was like, that was the second time where I was like, well, that was pretty fucking cool. I was like,
Sweet.
man, I was not expecting any of that to work. So I was pretty excited about how everything worked out today and yesterday.
And you weren't going to come on the trip.
I wasn't even going to come.
And
out
I
here.
called you and I said, dude, if you're lying on your deathbed and you go, God, I'm so glad I didn't go on this Rubicon trip. Is that what you want to say? No.
Well, I don't think I would be saying that. I would be like, man, I'm really pissed. I missed that Rubicon.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So yeah, It's because of you that I'm out here. I would just
See?
like to point out you called me up and blackmailed me.
I'm
So
a lot of wives and girlfriends
Very
hate me because I'm a
persuasive
good
way to
persuade, but I wasn't persuasive enough to get Chris out here as much as I tried. Even to do a day trip today, it didn't work.
Well, we figured out for Chris that James, you came up with this idea, right? Was it you that the for
Nope.
sale sign?
oh boy, here we
boy.
go.
Do you
Like
wanna- do you
Hangman.
wanna explain
It's
it?
like Hangman.
It's just like Hangman. So,
Or
so-
horse when you're playing horse in basketball or
Horse.
something?
yeah. I know Lorenzo is going to be all over it.
Oh, he is. He's all
he
over
was
this.
already had that for sale sign in his hand last time around.
Yeah.
So what I was
He's
kind
got
of
the markers ready to fill it in.
right.
Yeah.
So what I was kind of thinking here is every time you miss a run, Chris, you get a letter. But every time you make a run, you get to take one off.
Okay, there you go. And what's the letter? It's FOR
Yeah, just
SALE
yeah,
for sale.
He has to live on the rig in the back window.
yep.
Yeah.
And just kind of a little game we could play here and see. But, maybe we could throw in some bonus stuff. For
Yes.
him, like you make Trail Hero, that might have to take off like clean slate.
Well, no, like at Trail Hero, you can hit 4 or 5 different runs, so you can clear all the letters.
You
when
could
go to
clear it.
Trail
You
Hero
could
or
clear it in
Moab
one
or
afternoon.
something. Yeah.
So, James,
You
I have a
clear-
really important question about
Yeah.
this you just came up with. Does this start today, or did this start at the start of the podcast?
No, it started like a week ago.
Yeah.
So
That's a
he
week ago.
So, yeah,
he has an F.
He has an FO.
Oh, he's got an FO.
He has an
a
FO. Oh, he has a FO. Because
I don't know. We just kind of came up with this on the fly here, so I'm almost thinking, maybe you get a freebie on these ones, and we'll. have to,
wow, you're very gracious.
yeah.
Oh.
James is too nice. Chris, you get an F.
There it is. This just in from Lady Samurai. You get an F.
Jason, I think we should also maybe talk a little bit about. We'll move on past Chris, but talk about that. Tyler has a new motor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I have a new motor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think James has a new motor.
Yes, there's 3 new motors.
Mm-hmm.
They did really well.
Yeah,
They
all
did
all of
all
you.
3 of them did
Yeah,
great.
all 3
all
of
the
them running great.
horsepowers, all the torques.
Well, and James, back in June,
Well, James adds like
That-
20
that-
horsepower to all of ours.
yeah, but your motor had like an hour on it, maybe before you did the
yeah,
Rubicon.
that wasn't probably one of my more brighter ideas.
Yeah, but it worked out.
It worked out great. I came back from. Yeah. I literally came home. I had told the wife, I'm like, we're in trouble. Samurai's dead. And she's like, what about the Rubicon? And I'm like, well, we can order a motor. You better get on it. Okay. And so we literally got the motor, what was it, 2 days before the trip.
So you got it like on a Wednesday.
Got it on a Wednesday, and
Put
then
it on a Thursday.
put it on a Thursday, and left for the Rubicon on Friday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then CJ, you've only got like 20 hours on your stroker straight 6 there.
Yeah, I think we're at 28 hours as
See?
of today, and then there was 2 weekends ago. I did about 300 miles up and down Highway 4,
See?
Deer Valley, Slick Rock, and Barney Riley.
What better way to break in your rig as 4-wheeling? That's what it's for, right?
Yeah, I think I broke. I think hour 3 was pulling a 8,000-pound E350 Sportsmobile through Deer Valley.
Nice.
But good way to break it in.
That's good.
And, it was broken in on the dyno. That was the nice part. So,
Well, that's true. Your engine was professionally built.
for
by
those of you
who?
following along, I
Yeah.
got a 4.6 liter straight 6 stroker from Golan Engines.
And where they're out of where?
Oh, I want to say New Hampshire.
Yeah, it
somewhere
is. It's way out there, back east.
Big shout out to Chad. He builds these every other month. And he talked me through everything I needed to do. He ships the thing out turnkey ready. He dyno tests it, shares a YouTube video of it dyno tested with your actual numbers.
Nice.
Breaks in the cam. It's a flat tappet cam. That's pretty high profile cam. So breaks it all in, gives you everything you need to know, and he just says, "Call me before you fire it up. We'll go through the checklist."
Nice.
And he helps you.
You
fire
got
it up.
oil?
And,
Check.
Darn it anyway. If those of you following on Facebook,
Got ignition? Check.
I
You need oil for those things?
I was live streaming, and it started up the first try.
Rusty lid off road.
Nice.
What's your IG rusty lid? No, your
IG's Rusty Lid Off Road.
Yeah.
and on
Your
Facebook.
IG's rusty lid.
Anyway, thank you, Chad, and thank you, Golan Engines.
No, that's
pretty,
cool.
Pretty turnkey. It came in a crate, and a week and a half later, it was in the Jeep running.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Nice.
Really cool.
Yeah,
And-
so this is really bad. The guy I got my motor from, unbelievably awesome guy, lived what? Where did he live at? San Diego? somewhere?
Down south.
Down
yeah.
south. I can't even think of the guy's name right now. He throws that motor in the back of his Samurai because he was going to Reno.
That's right.
And basically delivered it
Wow.
to my door.
You got home delivery.
Home delivery. And I
That's
can't
great.
I can't even think of this guy's name.
Well, those little Samurai engines fit in like a gift
Yeah.
basket with some
You can put it in
crackers
your
and
glove
shit.
box.
I
You can
can't
put it in
even
your glove
lie.
box.
I
You're good
brought
to
my
go.
Dodge to, my tow rig to go throw it in the back of my truck and take it up to my buddy's house so we could do the motor. And I get there and it's just in the back of the guy's Samurai and like, okay, yeah, you grab that side, I'll grab this side.
That's perfect.
One-handed. Here you go.
Just for a comparison, I had to pay for liftgate service for my motor to be delivered.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. That's American Iron right there.
Oh, man.
And then one of the times right before we went to go drop it into the Samurai, I literally just carried it to the Samurai.
That's
Wow.
crazy. That's so crazy.
Oh, man.
So then Tyler's got a quote-unquote new motor that's only got, how many, 100 and something thousand miles on it?
140,000.
140,000. So, you
Yeah.
know, it's barely broke in.
That's baby for a 3.4.
Right.
Yeah.
But it does sound good with your
It's-
Flowmaster exhaust.
sounds
I got to
great.
give you credit there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you got to get an electric fan on there.
Yep.
And
Fan
you got...
currently, there's a fan on there. It doesn't do anything though.
You got it-
It just
no,
kinda
of course, 'cause
looks
it's-
like it might do something.
It's literally at least 4 or 5 inches away from the radiator.
Yeah.
It ain't and it's offset of the radiator. It's not even in the center of the radiator.
Yeah.
It just
It's a little
no.
low.
That
Jason,
whole
it
operation's
serves a
bad.
very important purpose.
What's that?
It circulates the air so the AC condenser doesn't.
Oh, that's
Hey.
true for the AC condenser.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You just want to make sure all the ambient temps under the hood are equal.
Fuck. Unbelievable. Yeah. It amazes me. Just amazes me. But yeah, so you made it, and it's as much ridiculing as I give you. You made it without lockers today, and that was
Yeah.
impressive. Yesterday and today.
Yeah.
We'll see about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Getting out of here, but yeah. So
Very
we made it back, huh?
It was very
Yeah,
impressive,
yeah.
impressive watching him wheel and
Well, and I say this all the time, and that's what I love about air lockers or any kind of selectable locker, is it's nice to be able to leave them off because it forces you to pick a line.
Yeah.
And you will become a way better driver
Yeah.
if you have an open rig, rock crawling or doing any extreme four-wheeling. You may not make it up as easy, but it forces you to pick a line and learn your vehicle.
Yeah.
And when you do that, and then when you graduate to lockers or bigger tires and all this stuff, you will appreciate it even more, and you will be a way better driver in the future. Now, on my situation where I got the buggy and it's, point and shoot, and then all this experience at Trail Hero, and then I hop back in the Jeep, and I think I regressed a little bit here.
I wouldn't say you regress. It's just you were so numb from the buggy.
I was
Yeah,
trying to
just gotta
do some
reset a
stupid
little.
lines. Yeah, I had to hit the hard reset button here this weekend, but
Well, it's been kind
fun.
of nice for me because I got, before the engine swap where I kind of lost my lockers and everything, I got too comfortable in the 4Runner, and I would just be going down a trail
Yeah.
completely relaxed, not really paying attention, keep diffing rocks all over the
Yeah.
place. I'm just like, oh, I need to pay attention and actually watch where I'm going. And having a new engine that behaves differently at different RPMs now for crawling over rocks and having no lockers, it was really nice to actually have to pay attention again and
Yes.
pick things. Like you said,
Pay attention. You had to turn your music down a couple octaves.
just a couple, yeah. And yeah, not the AC though. The AC,
no,
stayed
the
cranked,
AC
yeah.
was cranking, but you had to
I
turn
threw
the
my
music
jacket
down a
on
little
too.
bit.
I was like, I don't care. I just got this thing done. I'm not going to use it.
All that extra horsepower is going to use, I guess.
Yeah. No, it was like
All the
it's like-
torques.
it's like when we came out of that first V notch, everyone had cameras out, filming and taking pictures and everything. I just dropped it into low gear and just let it crawl.
Yeah.
And it stuck my hands out the windows. And I was like, hey, I paid for all these torques. I'm going to use them. Okay, you guys?
You did,
So-
and I was looking back at my video, and I'm like, I didn't take that in slow-mo. That was like regular, but it was like very slow motion.
Took me
watching
about
you go
20
through
minutes.
that. Yes,
20 minutes to
it
get through that
did.
V-notch. But
We
I was like, man,
stopped.
great.
Rhonda went to the bathroom,
had
came
lunch.
back. Yeah, CJ had lunch. I was like going through, washing the Jeep off and stuff. Yeah.
What's
it was
funny?
like all
we
this-
got down to the bottom of the notch, and Johnson's sitting there going, "Come on,
Yeah.
on, just get going."
So let's.
My battery's
Yeah,
gonna die.
Who's
Get
this
going.
Johnson guy?
Yeah, who's this Johnson
Yeah.
guy you keep referring to?
He's one of the guys that's out here. So hand him a microphone.
You gonna hand him a mic? Oh boy, here we go. Are you certified?
I am.
Is
Okay,
that
so
Daryl
this
over
is,
there with you too? I can't see with the light.
okay. So Daryl and Johnson came out here on the Rubicon for the first time,
This is like their first wheeling trip.
and I know,
Yeah.
and Daryl had just gotten his Jeep not too long ago, a 13 JK 4-door,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
weeks
welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the Rubicon.
Yeah.
Welcome to wheeling.
Yeah,
It's really exciting.
hooked for life.
So you guys, I wish you were out there today, though. Johnson got quite the experience of fully immersed into the wheeling scene today. We did a little bit of everything. But you were back at camp. How was camp today?
Camp was great. Went
Yeah.
hiking, went up to John Arn's cabin.
Oh, yeah. See, I need to do that tomorrow.
We went to the little sluice and we're watching people bang their Jeeps around.
They bang around, raising up their Toyotas. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I met your Toyota peeps.
Oh, yeah.
Your Toyota
My
people.
peeps?
That's some of
My
your
people?
people down there. He goes, man, I'm glad I'm a Jeep owner.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't drive one of those things.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. It is. It's unique though. But how about the scenery and everything? I mean, isn't this incredible?
It was amazing.
Being
able to get to a place like this that you couldn't otherwise get to. So,
yeah, unless you hike or have a horse or something. Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
it was amazing to go off roading for the first time, but also to meet such a neat community of people.
Well,
Yeah, it is
and that's
really
what
cool
you're going to
community.
learn. And we talk about this all the time on the podcast. The camaraderie. I mean, we joke around. We
They
this.
don't joke. Anytime they're talking about shit about Toyotas, it's all 100%.
That's true. We're
from
super
their-
serious then. We're super serious at that point. But it really is. It's about getting out into the outdoors and recreating and enjoying this environment. And I have met so many great people that have become my closest friends out here on the trails, and especially as jacked up as this year's been. My solace has been going out four-wheeling, and this year I've done a lot of four-wheeling, and it's kept me in just keep things upright, so to speak, and
Barely
prioritize.
today.
Yeah, well,
Barely
no, I
stayed
tried to
upright
roll
today.
over a bunch of times today, but yeah, it's great. So welcome to the community.
Thank you.
You don't know what's in store for you. I mean, this is just, I mean, you're hitting it hard doing this trail the first time. This is like, a lot of people's bucket list item. But there is a lot more out there and some incredible trails and scenery to see. And the community, you say, you're just getting a small taste of what's to come.
This has been a bucket list item for mine. So I told my wife a few years ago, like when my youngest goes off to college, I'm buying a Jeep. to do
Nice.
This Rubicon trail. So here I am. So it's awesome.
Boom.
Yeah,
So
I love
your
it.
youngest is off to college, and there you go.
And I thought I brought Johnson. Johnson's my gadget friend. So he has a dash cam, drone.
Oh, so let's
Yeah,
talk
he did,
about
yeah.
Johnson here for a second with the drone here. So Johnson rode right seat. We went out today to Buck Island and beyond, but Johnson is the not so professional drone flyer apparently. So you had not one but two tree encounters with your drone yesterday apparently.
That's true. That's true.
So you got that going for you.
How did we hear about the first one?
So that was funny because we were coming into the trail, and there was a few Jeeps coming out, and it was right after Ellis.
Yeah, it was
Right after Ellis.
It was right where I launched the front end of the vehicle over the rock.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that nice turn there.
that hard section after Ellis, where you make the left up that rocky section, and here comes a few Jeeps coming down. And so I'm talking to the first Jeep coming down, and then the second Jeep comes down, and he's like pointing at me through the windshield, and I'm like, and you were standing right behind me, so I didn't know if he was pointing at you or not. There was a glare on the windshield. What turned out to be my neighbor, like 6 houses down out here, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we got to come all the way out here to the Rubicon to see each other." Yeah. But he goes, I go, "Anybody else on the trail?" And they go, "Yeah, there's some people up there, and one of them had a drone, and it got stuck in a tree."
So they're all sitting there throwing rocks at it, and we're just like, what the hell is going on? And so
I'm like, who do we know with a drone up ahead? Well, it was Johnson, our soon-to-be friend here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky I got the warranty, so I just had to bring a piece of it back, and that's why I just wanted it back. And then Daryl here had an arm, and man, smacked it just right, broke the arm, and it came down.
Yeah, but you got it stuck in a tree somewhere further down the trail prior to camp.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And then you guys spent like an hour and got it down. Mm-hmm. And then when we pulled into camp, like hours later, there was a drone stuck up in a tree.
There's a blinking light up
and
in
it just happened to be your drone.
Right. So I was able to get some duct tape. To tell you how important duct tape is.
You're going to fit right in the community here.
200-mile-an-hour tape.
Yeah.
And I started doing some droning moves. I kind of like spiraling around of the campsite, and then it gets stuck in the tree again.
So there you go. And so last night we're in camp, and it gets dark. As dark as it gets with a full moon, and we can see this flashing light up in the tree. And go, what the? Oh, it's a drone. And it's way up there. I mean, it's a good, 40, 50 feet up in the tree, I would say. Yeah. And so, so the battery dies overnight. So this morning, you got out the paracord and a carabiner and was able to retrieve it, bang it out of the tree.
I did. Yeah, so I slung it back up there like David and Goliath. Slung it right there. Pulled it down. This time it's broke for sure. The gimbal came off.
Oh, yeah.
The battery popped out.
But it flew. You were flying it shortly after that.
I did, yeah. And that was it.
And now it's Best Buy warranty. It's gonna be in full effect.
Exactly. Absolutely.
It's better taking it back this way, I think, than taking it back with a bullet hole through it, like was our original plan.
Yeah. we were gonna shoot it down.
I didn't care. I just wanted it down. I just actually wanted a memory card.
Yes, yes, because you got some good footage.
Less for the drone. It's the memory card.
Well, there you go. So it all worked out.
Yes, this is one of like Daryl was saying. This is one of my bucket list also.
Nice.
I've seen it when I was younger. I said, "Wow, this is amazing." All these wheelers, and I'm so glad that I came because I got a full immersion in it, especially going with you guys, experiencing everything that can go wrong.
So yeah, let's talk about the day today, riding right seat and watching everything that happened today. Because we did a lot of what happens four wheeling. We pulled some trees off the trail. We actually used a winch to get a vehicle recovered. A Samurai, Samurai James. Rhonda was not part of that operation. It was all James. But anyways,
we had to fix
what do you?
What
was
tie rod for a little bit?
Yeah, what was your take on today's activities?
Well, actually, I had a big take on today's activities and everything that happened. I think that when you become a wheeler, right? I'm not sure if that's a correct term or not.
No, that's it. Wheeler.
A wheeler. I think to be a good steward of the craft or of this activity is that you got to be able to help each other out, right?
Right.
Yeah,
clearing the trails, helping each other with lines. I noticed that Jason, you're jumping out and then giving us all of us lines. Okay, go this way, turn this way. And
I just like to boss people around.
Yeah, and chopping down trees and moving it over. And Rhonda made us some great sandwiches. I didn't bring my lunch.
Oh, how about that? Huh?
Oh my gosh, that sandwich was amazing. amazing.
Grubway.
We
That's right.
Grubway. We called it Grubway, not Subway. Grubway. Because if you saw how dirty our hands were, you probably wouldn't have ate that sandwich.
Actually, James handed it over me. He was bleeding to death, and I'm like, you know what? He held it in the hand. I was bleeding it. I'm like, okay.
What COVID?
But yeah, so that's what I took away from it. I mean, the community is a great community. I mean, sure, there's a relatively few out there that aren't exactly
Yeah,
good
bad
stewards.
apples wherever you
Yeah.
go and
Yeah,
anything.
Toyota.
You do.
But
Yeah.
in both
Toyota
rigs that I was
drivers
in,
anywhere you go.
yes. But in both rigs that I was in, I just felt a lot of. I asked a lot of questions from CJ and from James, and then the two totally different rigs.
Right.
And man, it's great to actually. I was in 3 different rigs this weekend.
Okay.
I was in Daryl's.
Yes,
Jeep,
the 4-door.
the 4-door
JK.
JK.
Yep.
And then it was in James's
Samurai.
and then I was in CJ's CJ.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you a question right now. Which one did you like best?
Okay, so I liked them all,
Yes.
but
Okay, that's the diplomatic
It
answer.
is.
Now, which one did you really like?
so Daryl's was the best. Why?
Yes, because
So-
that's your ride out tomorrow and home.
No, but no, it depends on what experience you really
Right,
want.
right.
Because I was talking to James on the way. I go, "This is awesome. That's wide open. I can see without
No
the window.
windshield. It's a buggy-esque, yes.
Yes, exactly. And then I wasn't worried about anything. It's like it's great. I could take perfect video of
Yes.
everybody. And with CJ, it was great too because his drawers dropped down, which was kind of cool,
Mm-hmm.
and you could see the wheel right, just sticking out like was 6-7 inches, whatever it was, or pretty far out there,
Right.
9 inches, I think it was. And then in Daryl's, it was nice and protected and nice and warm on the way up here, and so it all depends on what effect.
It
and,
does.
and also he has Daryl's can carry a lot of stuff, and I have
Yeah.
a tendency of doing that, and so it all depends on what experience you want. So I like all different rigs.
Well, right, and there's no perfect rig for any situation, right? I mean, it just depends on what you're doing. I mean, you get something like Daryl's rig that's all enclosed and creature comforts and everything, but there's body panels and shit that could get messed up on the trail like we went through today. And then you get something like James's rig, the Sammy. Very capable, no windshield. You don't have to worry about any glass breaking on that rig, and you can just send it. And then you got Tyler's rig if you want really good air conditioning and no lockers. That's great. And then you got the Jeeps,
That's a
the
great one,
CJs that we had today, and open air and old school and leaf
popping
sprung
wheels all over the place.
and pulling wheels off the ground all day. So it is. There's all different rigs out there, and it doesn't matter because I have seen rigs that are out of the junkyard, got them running, and go across the trail just like these $100,000 rigs going across the trail. They all get to camp, and some of them get there more gracefully than others, but you can get there. You can get. The bottom line is you could take a piece of crap and get there to the same places that $100,000 rig will get there. May not be as enjoyable or as comfortable, but it'll get there. I mean, that
Part of the
Willys,
journey. That's the
that,
experience.
that 53 Willys we saw today, that ain't no joyride there. I mean, it's fun in its own respect, but you're getting the crap beat out of you, but it's cool as hell to see something like that go across this trail with 31s. 30s.
Yeah.
30s, not even 31s. So, yes.
Yeah,
So-
almost. Yeah.
but you
CJ
got to,
CJ said 60 years. It's almost 70 years if you're sitting on that guy.
yeah, no kidding.
Jason, I have a favorite saying.
Yes.
I think that your rig should be older than your tire size.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my rig recently turned 37, and I put 37s on it.
I got 38s, and mine's older than
Exactly.
38.
I think
Yeah,
that's just
okay, I like that.
That's a rule that I like to live by, and
I like
boy, it's
that.
easier when you have 30s, I guess.
Well, what
but-
about the buggy, though? I don't know. My buggy was originated before 43, so yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Whatever.
Anyway, I just like it.
43 stickies.
You're older than 43, so that works.
I am older than 43, and I feel like it today. I got beat up today, man. So that's cool. So yeah, you guys got fully immersed, and Johnson especially today into. I mean, people work years to experience what you just experienced in one afternoon. So there you go. And I asked you right when we got back to camp, I'm like, so do you want to do this again or are you done? And you're like, no, hell yeah, I want to do this again. So you're hooked.
Yeah. Well,
so when are you getting your rig?
it'll be in the works.
Here we go.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe before January. I wanted to go to Death Valley. That's one of my.
Oh, there you go. So you know what Jeep stands for, Johnson?
Yeah, just
empty every pocket. That's exactly right. Just empty every pocket. Welcome to Four Wheel. We spend a lot of money to go slow. So there you go. What?
You know what Toyota stands for?
No, what?
Cutting corners.
Wow. Wow.
There is an actual acronym for Toyota.
Is there?
But,
What is it?
I was trying to think of it real quick, and I can't think of it. It's something about tires being too small.
Tires being too
I don't think
small.
I've heard that one. I think one that's kind of close is
here we go, James.
take off your oversized tires, something else. Asshole, there we go.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, man. Well,
Which is funny because all the Toyotas you see on the trail are running 35s and 37s,
Really?
36s.
Can't handle it.
Yeah. No,
Well,
axles handle just fine.
our Mr. Buddy heater just died.
Mr. Buddy's gone.
Na, 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 na.
warmer.
Hey, hey, goodbye.
Goodbye.
We are an hour and 51 minutes into this
Wow.
podcast. This is like a snail trail podcast. 2
Yeah.
hour segment every 2 days.
Yep.
Here we are.
This was before we split into 2 episodes a week.
Yeah. I think I'm going to split this into two. Chris is going to listen to this and he goes, no, we're just going to cut this up. Cutting room floor.
Chris
Done.
is going to cut out all the for sale talk.
He is. He's going to cut that section out
Yeah,
for sure.
this podcast is probably going to be about 25 minutes. You won't have to worry about it.
This is going to be shortened down. Hey, I got one for you.
If you want to, maybe later on when me and Daryl are finished done editing all the video.
Yes.
So let you know about just FYI, I had 5 full batteries full for the camera.
Wow.
I used it all today.
Wow.
That's how much footage I have.
You took a lot of
You did a lot
footage, yeah.
of every single aspect of everything that we did, from riding the Samurai to CJ,
Oh, that's
to the tree
cool.
pulling to the winch, taking out the Samurai.
Taking out the
And
Samurai.
also, and other rigs coming through also. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, that's
That,
cool.
the
You
squeeze-
did.
the squeeze tree being down.
yes, the squeeze tree, which was I don't have any sentimental
No.
value for that because I wasn't there, but I understand the sentimental value.
Yes, yes, it is. It's very. I'm gonna shed a tear tonight before I go to bed. That
You
tree.
cry yourself to sleep.
I will cry myself to sleep about that tree, but no, that's cool. And yes, you did a lot of documentation today, which is cool. No drone footage, but that's good. No, it's great. It is. I love it because seeing people come into the sport like you guys did today, and you guys just dumped into the 12-foot deep section today, yesterday, today, jumping under the Rubicon, and it's great because all the questions and stuff you were asking today, it just
They were
it's
spot
stuff like
on. It was-
yeah,
it was great.
It
It was
was,
awesome.
and
hearing your questions.
it brings me back, and it's like we teach this safety clinic, and we teach a lot of quote unquote newbies, which is no derogatory term by any means, because we all started somewhere, and I love that because it makes me go back to the roots of four-wheeling and how excited I was when I first went off-road, and still to this day, and with all the experience I have, and I don't know everything, it still is super cool to kind of put myself back into those shoes and look at the trail from a different aspect from the first time, other than wheeling on it for 30 years. So you brought that back today for me, which I thank you for. And it's super cool. That's what I love about this. I call it a sport. It's a sport. And
Don't talk to Husband
and if
about
you have a Jeep, you're winning. But other than that, yeah, no, it's cool. It's super cool. So
I'm very thankful for you guys to actually be so open and welcome to
absolutely
people like me. So
no, it's
able to
good.
jump in different rigs. That's kind of a. I mean, who will jump into another rig of a stranger, right? And
Well, especially out on the trail, and I don't
noticed
know
you
about
never
riding
came
with
into the
CJ
Toyota
or
today.
James and stuff, but yeah, no, that's good. We get our shots in when we can, but no, it's a great community, a really, really cool community, and it's non-denominational, and we joke about all these different rigs, but at the end of the day, bottom line is all about having fun out on the trail, coming back to camp, and talking about the day's events and getting to enjoy the outdoors, and that's what it's all about, and that's exactly what we did today, and during these crazy year of COVID, we're winning right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, on that note, anybody else got anything? Any final word? Let's do final words like snail trail. I'm going to go around here and get final words from everybody. So, Tyler, you start.
Open, AC before lockers.
Don't take that advice. Next, James.
I really don't have anything good.
Final thoughts. Come on. You got to have something. Final thoughts.
I would have to say keep exploring.
Huh?
Keep exploring.
Okay, that's a good one. Or no metal winch lines.
Yeah,
No
metal
cables.
winch lines at all. First and last, water your 37s. They might
Water
hit
your
40s.
37s will make 40s. Okay, good. CJ? He's thinking, how about cookies before lockers?
Cookies before AC.
Yes, for sure.
Cookies before AC.
For sure.
And also nice to have the torques of a straight 6. And a
Yes,
stroker.
yes. Stroker torques.
Brand new motor, idled all day through the trail in second and third gear.
Yeah.
No problem. And
Yeah.
that's just awesome to have a Jeep motor in a Jeep and have the horsepower and have the fun. And it just ran like a clock.
There you go. Rhonda?
I want to be like Amber Turner when I grow up.
Look at you. That's awesome. That is awesome. Amber's going to love that. I love that. Yeah, the itty bitty tippy
Hell yeah.
committee. That was so much fun. You guys got to go to Trail Hero next year. Just saying. Okay. Daryl?
What are we doing now?
Final words, final thoughts.
Oh, well, I'm excited about heading back tomorrow.
Okay.
I've got 513s, and I was crawling in first gear, and so I realized towards the end, like, that's really way too slow.
Yeah,
And I
you're
could
too
actually
many
crawl in
torques.
second, and it was, like, completely fine. So
Yes.
I'm, like, excited to kind of take my learnings and kind of keep on growing.
Right on. Well said. Okay, Johnson, final thoughts here
All right.
of the drone, not so professional drone pilot.
All right, so when you're in wheeling, have an attitude of servitude and be very welcome to everyone. So future people can be involved in this sport.
Wow, very nice. Final thoughts here. So with that, we are going to end this 2.5 hour podcast. No, it was 2 hour. 2 hours of recording. Good luck, Chris, in editing this. We wish you were here. And thank you so much. And good night. We out.
Peace out.
And
Awesome.
Rubicon.
I'm so sad.
Are you really sad now after hearing that?
Yeah.
We did work, though. You heard the work party there with the
Yeah.
trees and...
So what's the deal with the tree, the squeeze tree or whatever up there?
what's the deal? It fell over.
Well, that sucks.
Wind. Yeah, it really does suck because it is really going to make the center, I mean, it's going to make the big sluice a lot easier, bottom line.
Sure.
And then somebody I was reading on, I think it was Rubicon Trail page on IG, said just put a concrete bollard in there, bollard, just put an obstacle in the center.
Right.
That's not going to move. And I actually like that idea a lot. So
I saw a picture of a Prius driver through there today.
Oh, wouldn't that be good if they could just plant a Prius in there and you just freaking drive all over it and around it and scrape it? And
Cody Wagner.
I'd be all over that.
Cody Wagner would have to come up and drive over it.
So something, it sucks. It's still a difficult section of the trail because of the boulders that are there. But I mean, somebody called it the decision tree as well, and it totally was because. I mean, you may go left going down and you may go left going up. So you're going to hit it on both sides. I mean, it just depends on your vehicle and, how the rocks are situated at that time. And it was a crossroads where, okay, do I go left or right? Do I go left or right?
Right.
And you go left and you get stuck and you go, damn it, I should have gone right. And then you back up and go right and you go, damn it, that was worse. So I should have stayed left. No, but another iconic tree down on the trail sucks, but I wish we had the equipment to help move it, but I suspect it's going to get harvested here this past weekend. After this, it'll be the weekend before this podcast.
I think they airdropped Kevin Jones in there with his widow.
Yeah, with his big old saw. I know he was all over that. As soon as I posted that, he was DMing me.
Well, good.
So, great time out there. Wish you were there, Chris. We had. It was so cool to be able to drive into Spyder Lake and drop all your camping gear and run. Just with your, day cooler and go out on trail.
It's like a day run.
It was a day run, and it was so cool to have a base camp like that.
Sure.
And getting to see Buck Island. Drained. I've never seen it empty. I mean, it wasn't empty, completely empty, but it was empty by the dam, and that's where we got to walk up to the tunnel that goes all the way to Loon Lake.
That's cool.
And that was super cool. So anyways, great time, and I may have to do one more Rubicon trip before the snow starts flying. We'll see how it goes. Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Instagram. We're over 1,500 followers now.
What?
1,500? I mean, that's nothing in Instagram land,
I know,
but to us, that's a lot.
That's organic.
That's huge. That is organic. We did not buy any followers or anything like that. So that was a milestone. We're going to have to do something big when we get to 2,000. Get to 2,000 followers.
God, like what? Maybe a giveaway of some
we're
sort
working. We're definitely going to do something. And our patrons, again, thank you very much for supporting us. Go to the website, wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. That has been updated.
Yes, it has.
Thanks to Johnny at Dirtbag Clothing has updated that. There's some discount codes that I'm going to post
talking about
up.
the merch.
Yeah, so the merch is there.
Right.
Our patrons will have discount codes that will work for either or Wheeling Wine and Whiskey swag and Dirtbag swag.
Dirtbag, yeah.
How cool is that?
That's
so
real cool.
Johnny threw that out there, and he says, "Hey, why don't you just give your patrons, they can go to the website and also get a discount on the Dirtbag swag."
We want to see a bunch of big zips on the trail.
Oh, I know. So that's super cool. So thank you, Johnny, for that and your support. Thank you for your support. So yeah, and then hit us up. Of course, IG, Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, email Chris at Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, Lorenzo at wheelingwineandwhiskey.com, and Jason at wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. And be happy to hear from you.
Yeah.
Interact. And
I'm going to change Lorenzo's email to he's an ass at Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
Well, there you go. He's an ass at wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. But that could refer to you or I.
Well, all three of us.
Yes. So we got that going for us, which is nice.
Nice.
What
else?
I hope you enjoyed the episode. That's all I got.
Okay, I guess that means we're out.